Good evening, one and all, unless your name is Eliu. I hope you're having yourselves a wonderful day, and it is time for us to jump into some more good old Warframe. Welcome everyone, hope you're doing well where you are around the world. Today we are looking at loot. And Eliu knows exactly what they did. Welcome everyone. I'll say they have beef with face-off quitters. If you're running public, that's going to happen. It happens in every single mode where there is some value to be had in leaving early, and the only way to get around that is to open up a pre-made squad. Best you can do on that. Yeah, and also complaining to DE that their design is encouraging people to quit. There is also that. There's no value in quitting face-off early, is there not? I mean, if they're looking for a win and they get to a point where they know they can't win, then there's value to them leaving sooner so they can move on to the next win. Don't get anything, deny the team standing. Half standing if you lose. Maybe that's not well communicated then, Kals. Maybe that's not well communicated. Maybe they feel that quitting and retrying for full standing sooner is better than half standing later. Without being the kind of person to just quit out on you like this, I don't have enough to really weigh in, but ultimately, people quitting happens all over the place. It really, really does. And in a competitive mode where there is a clear winner and loser, it doesn't matter how much someone wins. If they're not winning enough, sometimes that is enough for people to just quit. Yeah. And there's our Ripple. There you are, Bite. They have been punished for being faster than the enemy. That is definitely a complaint at DE for their design kind of ditty right there. I wish you the best with it. From Shezbot, do we count boosters as loot mapping? If you have to give some universal things like mod drop chance booster, booty endo, and arcade. Shezbot, I love that you've got into like 3 different topics of thought there before we've even gotten into the actual stream. First of all, questioning are we counting boosters for loot mapping? Sorry, as loot mapping. Well, boosters do affect loot, but in a very known way, so not particularly relevant. Then there's the whole universal things like mod drop chance boosters affecting endo and arcane drops, or resource drop chance boosters nerfing the metal nodes mining. The former of those is just well known and understood. It affects it, that's how it works. And the second one I verified years ago and has since had additional bugs come out around it which DE have needed to address. I forget which update it was, but it's a semi-recent one that was, oops, yeah, the booster was making it where mining nodes for ores simply just weren't appearing. How bad. So yeah, there is some funkiness going on with that. How that changes, I don't know, but it changed. And then needed fixing, and God knows what the fix has done, because that's the way these things go. But to bring your highlighted message to a concise conclusion, boosters are not the concern today. Because boosters are multipliers, with the exception and sole exception of mining, whereupon it can have a negative impact on a particular resource, and there's no way for you to turn it off once you have that negative. Fun fact. Aside from that, it just is what it is when it comes to boosters. Eliu say, regularly see Counter-Strike players sabotaging their team, and therefore their chances of winning over stuff like I said, slight small grievances. Okay, that probably is actually Counter-Strike then. And yeah, I think we could just file that one under a big ol' people be dumb. It happens. It really just happens. If there's anything we've seen on my various streams where the random public gets involved, let's be real, we have seen brilliant sparks and we have seen the dulled ashes of once what may have been embers, but left to simply fade away. We've seen it all. There. It just happens. Shezbot. You realize you literally have just made a racist remark right here, and I don't know if you realize just how over the line that one is. Just putting it out there, mate. Don't be like that. Especially if you're gonna throw it out with just nil context for the rest of us. Yeah. No, no, that's not how this works. You can't just say, oh, but I'm Polish myself. No. Because I don't even have any way to verify that. Let alone it doesn't excuse it. Don't do that. Just don't. Right then, on to loot. So, the first thing I want to have a look at is Entrati Lanthorns. Now, Entrati Lanthorns are in a interesting state where if you go where they originally dropped from, then apparently you have a bit of a bad time. A lot of people complain about getting them from the Zaraman. Whereas they're now a guaranteed drop from Nedracells, not to mention they drop pretty often from other locations. I'm fairly certain the wiki doesn't even have all the information on where they drop from. It just has a little bit of it here or there. So mission drop tables, it's obtainable from Zaraman bounties. It is obtainable from some Deimos bounties as well. That is Deimos Entrati Lab bounties. If I recall correctly, they can also drop from, I think Necromex? I think. Environment Labs exterminate the Gruslings when you need them. There's also that. Yeah, they do drop from Gruslings. Again, not sure on the frequency, but they do have that. Let's have a look. Does the wiki have the Grusling drop table? Drops none. That's incorrect. Well, that's off to an amazing start. Thanks, wiki. I really do love that. The section literally listed drops says just none. How about I go to the official drop tables for a moment? Just out of curiosity. Control, when it loads. Control F, Grusling. Well, that ding will be exactly why the wiki automatically lists it as none. Hum. Yeah, okay. Okay. Wiki says no enemies drop them. Yeah, so here's the thing, yeah, we already know for a fact that it's missing that detail on the Grusling, or at least isn't accurately putting that information in anywhere. So, it turns out auto-generated stuff only works as well as it can with the information it's given. If the information doesn't give it, they can't give it. Sounds so different here than the videos. Sorry. So we're going to be looking at Entrati Lanthorns today. As part of that, we're looking over at the drop table, and on the drop table, it shows that there is nothing. Does this sound a little bit more within the cadence you might expect as part of a video? Even then, I'm just putting on. Video voice is a very different Ken. Video voice is a very different Ken because it doesn't have all of the bounds, the ums, the ahs, the running around points. Because it's designed to be easy to follow, easy to flow with, but at the same time, it just sounds different. It's very much not me in the raw, live, unburdened sense, and is instead much easier to follow for an informational sense. Because hell, let's bring up the latest script I've been working on for the next video. Let me just get you the intro on that. There's a little spoilerinos for y'all. Where was the bit? Yeah. I've shared many a video covering warframes and weapons themselves, giving you the tools to clear rooms, hold objectives, and rack up the kills per minute. Today, let's focus on how your primary weapon slot can be a support or utility tool, enhancing nearly any warframe or main weapon you pair it with. I'm the engineer. Let's solve a practical problem. It is as simple as that. So, yeah. It's a common jarring thing for people coming over from YouTube to hear, is that I just don't have the same kind of presence. Straight up. Big obvious one, because I'm switching from a script to unscripted. It do be like that. There's a reason that you should give, heads of state a working teleprompter, for example. When's that video going to be out? When it's done. Is the only answer I can ever give you on when videos are out. When it is done. Is it bad your brain automatically added the jingle? I mean, it's good for me. It's good for me. Right, so, first thing I want to go over to then is head on over to Deimos here. I'm going to set that to normal. I know that there is a resource drop chance bonus on Steel Path, but we're not going to touch that right now. Head over to normal. Head over to... Hold on, which one is it? It's one of these. One of these. There it is. Head over to Next. There we are. Yeah, I'm sure many of you got hit with the mental expectation of the jingle immediately after. Yeah, any of you who've done any kind of scripted routine will be familiar with the same kind of thing when it comes to a changing of voice, changing of cadence. Even just working in customer service, you'll get it. You switch from you to the cog in the employed machine. So, for example, someone working in retail, you have a customer come up asking for your assistance. Hi there, how can I help today? Yeah, what can I get for you? Oh, I see, yeah. That's just over on this shelf that we're stood right next to, right here. This one. The one with the big sign on it that says exactly what you just asked me. It's this one. Glad I could help. As you're just inside dying, wondering when will customers please start reading. Please. Yeah. Do we consider vendors loot sources? Shinsbot. You're asking about Lloyd's Arcane Dissolution, but I'm very specifically looking at Indrati Lanthorn. So I appreciate that you would like to wonder if I'm covering every source of everything, by the sounds of it, but I'm not. The focus is going to be piecemeal, not the entirety of loot in everything ever. And so the source of arcanes from vendors is completely outside the scope right now. Hope that makes sense. I just killed a Grozling, which was the main focus in this one, and it dropped me a Voca, which I remember is also a thing that they do now. But it occurs to me I don't think we have a drop table for them at all, which is a little frustrating. What? Shit, I wanted an Necromech to spawn. I didn't realize it was going to pop one right in front of me where Worm would immediately kill it. That is unfortunate. I'll just keep walking through the mission. Let's get rid of the blitz. Yeah, Zero Dog, you know it, yeah. Is dev stream today? No, dev stream is tomorrow. Quite frustrating of DE to do it on a wrong day, because it means that the co-stream would have to be on the wrong day as well. Maybe defang Worm for the next one? Maybe, yeah. Sentinels, they're just too strong. Especially when you're not even on Steel Path. It has that effect.
Starting to smell better in here already.
Well, that is certainly good, isn't it, Bird? Photo stream for you? So I am in two minds about that. On the one hand, I could just do the dev stream, co-stream, and then also give you Variety Friday. On the other hand, that would be adding a whole ass extra stream to my week, which I hadn't really intended on. Because each stream is a 4-hour plus commitment in and of itself. Not decided. You love that they kept the name the unnamed update. They did that last year as well. There was an unannounced update I forget which period it was, but I think it was an unannounced fall update again. They just do that. Unannounced, unnamed, they get around to it eventually. But until they do, it just kind of lingers there. I swear they use it as a marketing strategy. Alright, none of these lot are going to be setting off any alarms or summoning Necromex because we're currently in the concrete domain. And I want to be very much not in the concrete domain. So we'll get ourselves out of here shortly. I say that, but it seems like the sands are continuing. So the dev stream's for build hype, reveal on dev stream, people engaged. Exactly, yeah. Alright, yeah, I'm not gonna get another chance of Necromex spawn on this run. Okay, that's fine. Have I played or currently play any games other than Warframe? If so, do I stream them as well? Yes and yes. So on Fridays we always have not Warframe unless it's a dev stream. So there's always that, Variety Friday every single week. And very occasionally I'll add on additional streams here or there for those not Warframe games as well, yeah. So, to give an example, I actually just gone, not this... Yeah, I think it was on Friday and Monday last week, if I recall correctly. I think I did both. Yeah, I think it was both Friday and Monday last week. We had RuneScape on stream because of Leagues. Yeah, because on the Monday it was the release of RuneScape Leagues, and then on Friday it was a big old God Wars dungeon run and Dungeoneering. Both of which went very well, I do say. Alright, Worm, you're too good. Please stop. For now.
Murmur or no murmur?
The main thing I want to remind myself of is, do these Necromex guarantee a drop of the Lanthorn? Or am I thinking of something else for that guaranteed drop?
Oh, Rock, too close to our nest. Too close. Outie, outie.
What build am I on that my... What build am I on at the moment? Why is my range so small? What did I do to Lavos this time? Oh, what did I do to you, you poor thing? That is... Hold on. Can we figure it out from the abilities here? Okay, so it is modded. It's modded with Umbral set. That's a serious negative on the range, so that would be narrow-minded? Yeah, look at that duration. 300% duration. Why am I on a 300% duration levels? What the... What? What? Alright. I guess we're just going to put some gas down this corridor then. Yep. Don't remember when I put myself onto that, but alright. Next Golden Instinct? Nah, Golden Instinct doesn't want duration. And it doesn't want tiny range. Alright. We got the little issue over here going Greek. And that grabbed us 3 Intrati Lanthorns. Nice. Go whatever summons out of that. There we go. Don't mind me if I'm just going to have some chonky red crits on the Latent for a bit. There's a test build for Vendory. Alright, come on. You want to set off the alarm? Yeah, you do. Yes. Bring it. Bring the neck. Good. Now done. Alright then, you little bugly. What you got for me? Hell yeah! Nothing. Alright then, fair enough. Well, that verifies that one. I was misremembering. At the very least, if they do drop Lanthorns, they don't drop them 100% of the time. 13 Trati Eyeballs? Yup, I might as well have got nothing there.
Yeah, I saw a few more down the hall. Figured I'd, go clean them up for you. But then, I saw you're pretty into it, so I figured I'd leave them for you. Figured you could use the practice. I'll get the next bunch, no problem.
Thanks, Bird. Much appreciated. You got MTG yet? Oh, fair enough. Suppose it's not the worst channel to play one of those on, is it? Well, that was Phil's sticky below range. I know. He keeps trying to slide on his heelys and he remembers he put on his work boots today. He just kind of stumbles forward a bit. It's like, slide! Ah, wait, ah. The only reason he doesn't just fall over is he's got prime sure-footed, I think. Has he got prime sure-footed? He has? Ah, good. Alright. You know what, I'm gonna pop this. I don't need the affinity gain, it's useless to me, but I can pop it anyway. Imagine MTG Friday with MTG ad. It could happen. No any particular reason it should happen, but it can happen. Alright, 10 more kills, pop out of here. I'm keeping those enchanting lanthorns. They are nice to have. Although, question is, how many do I have these days? 742. Okay, you know what? I think I found a few. So, is there anyone still struggling for enchanting lanthorns?
Boomies really boom, huh? I'm starting to think maybe I shouldn't be making a nest out of some of that stuff.
Yep. Do I think viral should be nerfed at Tracks Cutter? Their reasoning is it kills variety in the game, no need to mod for different factions when you can just slap viral on your weapon and call it a day. I mean, you can just slap viral on your weapon and call it a day, you're very right. If we ignore every other use case, you're right, yeah. Because the thing is that you can get viral from your companion or your primary weapon, for your abilities, and then at that point you don't need to put viral onto your weapon because you've got it from elsewhere, and doubling down is no longer a suitable idea. At that point you can utilize faction weaknesses. Alternatively, if you're dealing with high armored enemies, then viral will indeed make it where they are more vulnerable to damage, but corrosive will make them even more vulnerable to damage, especially if you put in a couple perks to get corrosive to an entire armor strip. 10 times damage? Sure beats 4.25 times damage. Then you've got some enemies which are viral damage or viral proc immune, and those times you'll also want to use non-viral. Viral is very strong, but is nerfing it the way to make the adjustment you're looking for? Or is it better to see how weaker, downright useless status effects could be enhanced? That would be my way to go about it. Because you're right, viral is very effective, but sometimes having a very effective answer is a good thing. Are viral proc immune enemies only on Demo's open world? No, you'll find them all the time in Steel Path because acolytes. If I recall correctly, you cannot directly hit an acolyte with a viral proc. You need to cheat it onto them from other enemies, basically. And then various boss units are just immune to viral blocks as well. Say, for example, the fragmented boss are very cool. They're immune to both viral and cold. And then don't forget that if you need to deal with an enemy's overguard or shields, if that's a threat that's in the way, then viral does nothing to help you out there as well. So yeah, viral is bloody good. It is the single most powerful status type in the entire game. No doubt about it. But it's not like it's the only status type in the game. The days of /viral meta, for example, well gone. And on my stream on Sunday, if I had a viral setup, I would have been destroyed a lot sooner. It was the cold that was keeping the murmur at bay. So yeah. That's my take on that. Right, so if I had a look down there, it's not a guaranteed drop of Enchanted Lanthorns from anything there, but we do get 3 from the Gruzling. Just out of curiosity, is that even noted on the Gruzling page on the wiki here? Nope. Nope, not a mention. Unless I'm missing something. I'm just going to control F to be certain. Entrati. Sorry, its drop rate's not mentioned, but it is just listed in line with the disruption bits. That's a weird way of framing it, but okay. Melee Arcane Enhancement, Echo Vocal, 3 Enchanted Lanthorns. There it is, yeah. Only the Lanthorn drop is affected by resource boosters, rewarding player up to 6 on pickup. Hold on, wait. Oh yeah, my boosters ran out. Okay. So yeah, no detail as to their drop rates, not officially, not on wiki, and I'll be quite honest with you, establishing such a drop rate would be a pain in the ass, because you would want to have 1,000 kills just to cover the standard drop rates. If there's anything down with a fraction of a 1% drop rate, then you're going to be looking at like 10,000 kills to really verify its rate. That's a pain. That is bad juju. So, no real good answer on that one. Now, on that same note, I don't know if anyone knows this or not, but I don't know if there's been a release as to drop rates when it comes to region resources. You know how you'll go to a planet which is, say, like Ceres, Saturn, if you want to go farming for Orokin cells. If you want to be farming for salvage, I think one of the best places for that is Sedna. So depending on the material you want, you go to a specific location. They each have 4 region resources. But I don't know if there's ever been a posting as to what the drop rates are for region resources. I'm having a quick look down the, what do you call it, the region resource page on the wiki right now, just on the off chance it has a note that stands out. And I dare say it looks like that's a no. No, it references things being common, uncommon, and rare, but no actual rates. Interesting. Oh, I appear to have a bunch of unread messages in my inbox. What? 4 messages. Yeah. That wasn't what I meant by the boosters, Mirrorlave. That wasn't what I... Thank you very much, Mirrorlave, for the 30-day credit booster. For the 30-day affinity booster. For the 30-day resource booster. And then, let me guess, it's an egg. Nope, it's a 30-day resource drop chance booster. Mirrorlave, thank you very much for that. It's very generous as ever there. Cheers. But yeah, it occurs to me it's a bit odd when we think about it that there doesn't appear to be any official or unofficial information as to drop rates, as to how they actually come out. Yeah. And the problem is that that's not an easy thing to test again. There's a note here that's got some percentages. Veiled proximate ground enemies drop no regional resources. There's no planet for them. But it doesn't affect other resource drops, such as grenadier ground enemies' chance to drop tellurium, or Aurochs Polaris and Culverimo's chance to drop hexagon and orokin cells. Wait. Oh shit, yeah. Okay, yeah, I do see that. Aurochs Polaris Mowers have a 7.19% chance to drop hexagon, 2.43% chance to drop a, quote, region resource, and then 0.38% chance to drop just an orokin cell. Is that on the official drop table? The Polaris Mower? Polaris Mower. Yeah. It is indeed on their official drop table. Interesting. So many enemies just have region resource, but for some reason the Aurochs, Culverimoa and Polaris Mower have a couple different resources just hard modded into it. Weird. Do I have a Gauss nuke build? I do not have a Gauss nuke build ready to go there for you. If a build is not covered in a build guide, and a build ready to go. It was a joke. And so is this. EOS Armor Bundle. Okay then. Thank you very much, Miralabe. Yeah, it's just... How damn curious then that there's just nothing out there on this. Is that the same ladybug who's telling me in the House Be Bestest Friend Warframe video? Turns out, yes, community members are occasionally recruited for my videos. They're always told what's up. Fair do, Miralabe, fair do. I wouldn't have known it was on sale. Alex saying, tried farming Orokin cells and Morphics some time ago. It appeared to me that Mars is much better than Phobos for Morphics, while Deimos much worse for Orokin cells than Saturn or Ceres. For all those planets only a couple of times, so maybe go ahead with better RNG. Let's see, so you were comparing Mars and Phobos for Morphics. Yeah, and then you were comparing Saturn, Ceres, Deimos for Orokin cells. So the curious one to me is the Mars-Phobos distinction. So yeah, we got Morphics there alongside a bunch of other stuff. And then over on Phobos, yeah, Morphics again. So that is a little interesting to me there. And I do notice that we've got Gallium on Mars, which I think is considered a rare drop. Versus no rares around the Morphics there. So it could be that Morphics are being pushed out by the relative commonality of those others. I would have thought a later node, and Phobos is a later node, would have higher drop rates of resources. Whereas Ceres and Saturn beating Deimos, that makes perfect sense, because Deimos is before these two. Definitely before. Although, Ceres is actually an offshoot now, but go figure. Wasn't always that way. But this does leave me in a little bit of an odd situation. If we've got no hard numbers to compare against, then I've just got... well... only empirical data. And that is a pain in the ass when it comes to drop rates. That is a pain in the ass when it comes to drop rates. So... Morphics is rare, should say even weirder. Let me just check on again on that one, because there was the Gallium that's alongside. Yeah, Morphics and Gallium both considered rare. Phobos, Morphics considered rare, but the others are not. So yeah, that's my point, is that Yes, say if you were determining how common something was by just how many tickets you put in a hat. A common thing got 10 tickets in a hat, uncommon got 3 tickets, rare got 1 ticket. If that's how it's set up, then Mars, with Morphix getting 1 ticket, Gallium getting 1 ticket, Salvage getting 10 tickets, so up to 12, Fieldron getting 3, that brings you to 15 tickets in there, or 1 in 15 chance to get Morphix. Not saying that's the rate, just as a representative thing. You do that same thing with Phobos. You've got 2 uncommons, 1 common and 1 rare, to have the 10 common tickets, 2 lots of the 3 uncommons for Plastus and Rubido, which will be 6 tickets, and then the 1 ticket for Morphix, so it goes down from 1 in 15 to 1 in 17. So if that's the way it's set up, that they have a weighting and then it's rolled amongst the relative weighting, then that would lead to a lower drop rate in that other location. But that is a complete guess as to how that works. That is a complete guess as to how it comes together. But yeah, the next area I want to focus on is actually on the Zaraman. So we know that we can get Enchanted Lanthorns, at least from the Groslings, over on Deimos, but the Zaraman was the original source of them. I remember at the time they came out, a lot of people complained about the difficulty of getting Enchanted Lanthorns. In fact, anyone today would still suggest if you're going to get Enchanted Lanthorns, go to the labs, don't go to the Zaraman, despite this being where they're a regional resource. So I'm going to go through Halako Perimeter here. I'm going to go through it, let's say 4 times. I'm going to go through it 4 times, and the first 4 times... Actually, I'm going to go through it 8 times. 4 times one method, 4 times another method. So we'll get started with this first method, and to assist in this, I'm going to switch over to Revenant, so that I don't accidentally do things wrong. Alright. So I'm going to go through this. Revenant, Worm, Bursten, that's the approach. Just going to shoot things for a bit. So the reason for switching to Revenant here is that Revenant, unlike Lavos, does not have any kind of AoE damage. So throughout this mission, I'm going to see how many kills I get to, what is found in terms of loot along the way, and I'm using a very single target weapon, very precision weapon. Except for the fact that I'm not precise. Of course, I totally missed that shot on the word precision.
Keep fighting. I'm loving this.
The idea here is that we're going to see what I get from killing enemies, and then on the next 4 runs, I'll be able to compare it to what happens when I use Carrier and an AoE weapon. What's the hitbox on that? Which may affect the rates. In fact, no, should affect the rates. Let's go to that guy real quick. To aid in this, I'm specifically not going to use the Incarna mode of the burst right now because it has a small AoE to it. I'm trying to be as precise as possible. Shooting enemies, not crates. That is the distinction I'm making here. Enemies, not crates. You know. And once again, I'm not on Steel Path, so that is going to be reducing the potential rate, but it should be reducing the potential rate from everything equally, so theoretically there's no downside to doing it this way. Could have used non-incarnate? I could have, but I'm equipped with this weapon. Yeah, the reason I'm doing it this way is because including crate drops separately from NPC kills is kind of hard when you've got missions that almost exclusively require you to kill enemies. Don't create some similar drop tables of enemies though? Do they, Alex? That is the question, is it not? Do they have similar or even the same drop table? Do they? Or is there a difference? Are crates able to give us different rewards? Part of my supposition on that is that crates come in different varieties. There are small, medium and large crates, as well as extra large, really rare ones. And whilst we do have light, medium and heavy units, plus Xmas units, we also don't have any information to distinguish if they have an increased or not rate of drops, and that's even harder to check. Without D giving us some of this information, it comes down to a shit ton of testing, some of which I don't really want to do, because it would be testing for hours and hours and hours to only get a confident result, not a guaranteed result. That's painful. Do lanthorns have a dedicated breakable container? Also a valid question. I don't think I've ever seen a lanthorn specific container, but it could be there is a container which is really, really high chance of lanthorns. These are the kinds of questions that become very relevant to it all. If some people struggle to get lanthorns and other people never need to struggle for them, either someone's just playing a hell of a lot more than the others without realizing it, or there's something sciencey going on. And so the simplest way to address that is to do the test. It is always, and always has been, the simplest way. It's just also the bloody longest. This is why I really like it when D puts out the information, when they just give us the drop tables. Yeah, some people might be like, oh, but Ken, then they're doing your job for you. No, they're not. It takes someone to actually understand numbers, to analyze them and put it together and show what it means. But this mere publishing of drop rates, that's not doing my job for me. That's saving me from the hell of having to black box it. The same with weapon statistics, weapon features. When they're not shared, we just have to try again to get the very information they hid. Alright, so in that run there, that is 151 kills for 0 lanthorns. Let's just start up a notepad. Make a note of that. So that was 151 for 0 on the kills only runs. Away we go again. I said, where we go again. There we are, now it's interacting. Hello, Flo. At least he puts out the drop tables. Well, I mean, they put out some drop tables, don't they, Draxcutter? They put out some of them. Tell me, what's the drop rate of the arcanes that you can get from the Undercroft portals?
Understand violence. Show them they don't belong in our home.
What are the drop rates? How rare is a rare arcane from those portals? If you were to do Arcane Dissolution, have D provided the information on those drops? How frequently do you get a region resource from an enemy? How frequently do you get a rare region resource when a region resource is rolled? What is the drop rate of anything decent from Mobile Defense? That was a trick question. Mobile Defense has no drop table. It just... no drop. So, D do put out a lot of drop tables, and for that I am thankful, but also that it's recognition of them having a bunch of RNG elements in the first place. It's kind of rude to not give people the rates. Yeah, that's what I'd consider bare minimum information. It doesn't hurt the game to have those kind of stats. If those kinds of stats being available negatively impacts the way that players engage with the game is incorrectly designed. That's my take on it. If players knowing what they can get out of a game negatively impacts their ability to enjoy or play the game is badly designed. So, there's no reason to hide the deets. Surprised you said the overused statistic joke?
Your assignment is overdue. Based on prescribed deductions.
Not sure which one you're referencing there. Okay. Remember right, Steve removed health orbs from crates. The next time he was streaming, he needed health orb, got reminded he removed them. So assume crates are different loot tables. I see. I mean, I'm already on the assumption that crates do have different loot tables. It's more a question of to how different. How different are they? Now, the difficult bit is gonna be impeding apart the number of crates I destroy. Because they also have that information and don't give it to us. You'll see it sometimes at the end of missions. You'll see it pop up under your name. You'll see, oh yes, you have destroyed so many crates. Now, sometimes it'll pop up if it's a mission with Sarin in which case it's actually Sarin's spores you're popping. But the point is it's a tracked figure. But they'll only sometimes give it to you. It's like, but this will be useful information. It's there, it's tracked, it's known. It's occasionally shown to me, teased, to remind me that I could know it if only the devs would allow it. Yeah. Track say, if we knew what the drop tables and statistics were, it won't be a looter shooter, would it? Sorry, how do you figure that? How do you figure that, Trax? How do you figure that knowing the rewards you can get means it's no longer shooting and looting? What changes? Is this some kind of weird physics thing where you can either know positional momentum? If you know the drop table, you can no longer have the drop table? Is this what happens? The loot just vanishes out of our inventories the moment we know how soon we can get it? Because I'm fairly certain that's not how it works. What are my thoughts on the Cantic Prism? Exclamation mark amp. Because I'll be honest, I've not thought about amps that much since I made the video for it. Oh, I'm doing my sort of best to not break all the containers as much as I want to. Enjoys the gambling aspect? Here's the thing. Even the idea of the gambling aspect doesn't work. Because knowing the rates does not stop it being a gamble. That is, unless you want to tell me that the literal national lottery here in the UK is not a gamble, because we know the rates. If I knew this thing was maximum chance dropping on Venus Proxima, nobody would play the normal mission node, if people knew. Why not? Trax, where do you see people playing the game at the moment? Do you see people evenly distributed across every single mission node in the game? Is that what we're seeing? That everyone is just playing literal random missions all the time? Or do we see people concentrated where they're going to find the things they want? It already happens. It already happens that people move away from the nodes that broadly just don't give what they're looking for. Knowing the rates only highlights this, and if anything, brings greater attention to why are some of these places so dilapidated. Again, players are not at fault for wanting to go somewhere that gives them ample rewards, and not wanting to go somewhere that doesn't. Players are not at fault for that. It is the entire purview of game designers to determine how many rewards are given for how many actions. Players are simply responding to that. If knowing the drop rate makes you avoid something, You should have always been avoiding it. You just weren't given the information to know that. Alright then. 2 Entrati Lanthorns this time. Interesting. I don't think I broke any crates they came out of. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I don't think I did. That was 145 kills for 2 Lanthorns. Hello, Toriel. What's on the docket today? Exclamation mark gold. Trax being absolutely incorrect by saying the people only go to Cetus for 2 things, Eidolons or Plaguestar. There's, and I quote, literally no other reason to go there unless the game forces you to, via submissions or something. No. No, Trax. And with that, I'm sorry, but I'm going to draw a line on this conversation. That's multiple points in a row, which are just objectively incorrect, and that one measurably so in so many ways, it's not even worth getting into. There is more than just Eidolons and Plaguestar at Cetus.
These Grineer grunts are hunting for Kuva.
Run number 3.
Get in there and carve them up.
If I do shoot a crate and get Lanthorns from it, please do catch it as it happens, because sometimes I do just autopilot a little bit. As do we all. So if I do slip up there, catch it if you could, please.
So long as they keep coming, you keep killing.
Again, the idea here is that I'm focusing on just the NPC kills for a moment. And once I've done a few rounds of that, to try and average out the odds and see what drops I get, I can do the same thing when it comes to crates, to try and compare and contrast the difference there. Main focus being on the Entrati Lanthorns, in fact the entire focus being on them. Trax, are you asking to know, or are you asking to state your incredulity at people disagreeing with you? Just so I understand here. Because you're now at the point of believing people don't farm frames intentionally on Cetus, and that's just... oh boy. Are you asking to know? Or asking just to argue? Bearing in mind, I do have a player survey of my own creation which answers this, so... yeah. For me, to be honest, sometimes just knowing where to find resources enough for them. If you like the mission tells it, you might play it instead of another one. Yeah, and that's fair enough. Knowing that gave you some information to act on. Information that you didn't have to go digging for, that didn't have to be sought out by people filling up the wiki. You can go in-game and you can check the resource drones panel on the navigation screen to see which resources drop from which nodes. So if you go, I want an Orokin cell, you don't then go over to Earth and farm it endlessly, praying that an Orokin cell will drop. You can just look at it and go, ah yes, Orokin cells, they're not a region resource for Earth. They may come from other drop tables connected to Earth, and that is also made available on said mission drop tables. You're given the information. You're given the information to be able to make informed decisions It just leads to a better gaming experience. Dark sector preferable due to hinting on half mission. Preferable in what way, sorry, Shezbot? There we go. Hey. Farming said resource. Okay, so you mean preferable as in they have a higher drop rate, which potentially it states that it has a higher rate. Does it actually lead to a higher rate? Do infested enemies have the same drop table and chance of dropping materials as any other enemy? I mean, if we look at affinity, it's well established that shooting the Grineer leads to a higher gain of affinity than shooting pretty much any other faction. You'll have noticed this yourself if you've done ESO in even a small amount. You get the infested tiles, you get the corrupted tiles, you get the corpus tiles. You don't get anywhere near the same affinity. You get a couple Grineer ones back to back, basically everything's leveled.
You broke them. Nice. Keep hitting them hard enough, and eventually they get it.
Oh, Trax. You are misunderstanding that chance is not the entirety of a component of something. You reference a circuit with a 100% chance of getting a particular item, and bounties being a not 100%. Completely overlooking the bounties can potentially be done faster, that it can be a more enjoyable environment, and that the bounties may be available when the circuit farm for a particular item is not. All of these are factors which a person can weigh in on and make the decision themselves. But if they didn't know the drop table, if they only knew that they had but a chance of getting Gara, or a chance of getting Revenant, by going over to the bounty, they wouldn't be able to make the informed decision, would they? They wouldn't be able to know. Would it take them 1 bounty? 3? 59? How many? By knowing the rates, one can make an informed, not perfect, but informed decision.
Nothing went wrong with the jump. It was merely a...
That is the entire point. Alright, let's have a look at what we got from that one there. 2 more Lanthorns, so that'll be 1 more drop, remember. And that was from 148 kills. Alright. So if I just pop into inventory real quickly here, I should have a spare. Perfect, yeah. Absolutely perfect. So someone who's doing bounties, they might also be picking up some of those open world resources at the same time. Now, I don't have many in the way of Gara pieces, I think. Oh wait, no, they're up here. I wasn't looking properly. So yeah, Siege's Wisps, you don't get those in the circuit, you don't get the Coproid Alloy, you don't get the Iridite, you don't get the Escher Devar, you don't get the Chark Electroplax, you don't get the Grok Jewel, you don't get the Pyrotic Alloy. That's another reason to not do circuit. So if you're looking for reasons, there's plenty of them. There's also plenty of reasons to do the circuit, not least of which being a guarantee of getting those parts at a certain structured rate. It goes both ways. Mr. F saying they'll never intentionally try to farm for bikes by killing enemies due to 15k expected kills. For things like condition overload, that used to be the way people would have to get it.
hunting for Kuba on our ship.
If they didn't get it from transmutation, didn't want to go through transmutation, it was just murder plenty and hope for the best on the right tile set. And again, the drop rate being published allows people to know where it's even worth spending the time to murder.
No flagging! You're my favorite little meat grinder!
You got condition overload in your first transmutation? Nice. That is a good one, isn't it? That sets the expectations a little high, doesn't it? How good is transmutation? Oh, well, threw some mods together and got one of the most valuable melee mods of the era. Just a little bit. I distinctly remember doing so many transmutations. Every single one. Not just doing the transmutation, but recording the results of the transmutation and the source mods used to do the transmutation in order to identify what results you could actually expect from it. And do you know why I had to do all of that lot? Why I had to test again and again and again and again and again and again and again? Because there's no fucking drop rates published. That's why. In order to get the useful information to say that this is actually how good it is, this is what you can get, there was only one way. Anecdote doesn't work, it needs to be repeated extensively. And so extensively repeated I did. Still got the spreadsheet somewhere. I mean, it's over on Patreon, I think. Remember when you could get Arkham mods for transmutation? That happened many times over with new mods being introduced. I don't think it's happened for a while now, so DE have improved their processes. But more than a few times, new mods will get introduced, and then like the next day or next few hours, a patch will be put out going, oops, you can no longer transmute the new mods. Our bad, sorry. Those of you who got them, you're allowed to keep them. So many times that popped up, and it's like, how is that not one of the core things they would just not enable? Which meant that by default they had it enabled. The transmutation was a given. So weird. How is it I can hit that guy with a flying shot, but that guy slowly walks to the left, I miss him 4 times? How? Why is my aim like this? Prime Chamber with one of the whoopsies? Oh god, yeah. Arkham mods, Prime Chamber, various mods in total have suffered it over the years. Oh yeah, weapons being added to Conclave pool as well. Things just not being considered in various modes. And again, it's areas where you would imagine it would be opt-in, not opt-out design. It's weird that it happens. Just straight up weird. Alright, so we are coming close to the end of this 4th mission. And you see why I've chosen 4 missions and not 10, because dear god do they drag on a little bit when you are actively trying to not blow up the map. I suppose I could have used Mesa or something like that to just directly target the enemies and only the enemies. Thinking about it, might have been smarter. But the other thing as well is I'm trying to get close enough to the enemies that I'm looting every single one I shoot. Because any that I miss sours the information, adds noise. No, let's stop that.
Love folks who love what they do.
Yeah, if a mod is in transmutation when it shouldn't be, that is easier to catch than the opposite. You're very right there, Ladybug. That also leans into another one of the issues of not having drop tables published, is that we then don't have something to compare against to see if intentions are being met. Imagine from D's perspective. You believe that some new resource, you've added to the game, and it has a 1% drop rate. Imagine that's what you've done, and you send it out to the game. But you don't tell the players or anyone else that it's a 1% drop rate. You just say it's a rare drop. How would you find out that that was bugged? How would you find out if the drop rate was actually 0.5%, or 0.2%, 0.1%? How would the designer find that out without first suspecting that there's something broken? So again, having a published drop rate also helps DE in making sure that things are working correctly, because people can bounce their own experiences off of that drop rate and go, hang about. You suppose they have some sort of drop log filtering system for analysis? That's an interesting supposition. So, in order to ensure that the drop rates are working as intended, while still not allowing players to know what those drop rates are, you imagine that their way of going about this is to create a tracking system and actively check that tracking system, which sounds sensible, but is also the same game where for 2 years, Zarta's Whisper was effectively increasing the damage output of the Incarnas from the Zaraman by 21 times. Sorry, by 11 times on average. The same company that repeatedly was accidentally adding the new mods to transmutation when they shouldn't be there. I take it with a grain of salt to believe they then have the same kind of appropriate tracking set up for those drop rates. Very possible, but also very possible not. Or at the very least, if they did do it, don't check them, don't have the time to. You imagine they track animation stats and rewards, they allow them to compile the statistics. It would make sense to, wouldn't it? This is the thing. There's a lot of things that it would make sense to do. Now, there are going to be plenty of you in work, many of you in positions where data analysis is going to be required as well, or at least part of the job. And even if you're not in such work, or if you're a student, so you're just not even touched the working world at all, you'll have seen various areas around just your daily life where things would make sense to be tracked, where things would make sense to just do it a certain seemingly simple way. And you know in your own areas that they're not. They tracked enemies killed by weapons, do not be surprised. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's easy enough to have the numbers there. It's something else to check through everything bit by bit to go, oh wait, this drop rate's not working. It requires setting up reports, compiling reports, reviewing the reports, and following through on the information provided in those reports. Yeah. Shez, if you're referring to the guy I'm thinking of, who was a small content creator, it was for different reasons. Exactly, Mirror. Yeah. It takes time to check on data. If you don't have the time to do it, you only check when you know something is wrong. Yeah. Now, we do know that DE systems do have a way of looking at least the rewards you get from missions in an automated manner. We know this because people have found themselves trade banned for doing very long, very lucrative missions. Fair enough, Shez. Someone else then. People have done very long, very lucrative missions, they get trade banned for 2 weeks. In that time, they can contact support all they damn well please. Nothing will be done about it. The review period will go through, and then they're good. That is a known fact of something that happens in Warframe. What exactly triggers it isn't clear, because of course they're not going to give us that information. That would be daft if they did. But that should be the example of an automated system being over-relied on and not actively utilized or improved upon. Also, stats. 155 kills, no lanthorns. So in total of the missions I've just done there was 151, 145, 148, and 155 kills. 599 kills for 2 drops. And that is with doubled rates from Booster as well. And I'll put down normal mode, extern on Zaraman. There we are. It's got all the full information. Okay, so now I'm going to go through this again. And little stats do pop up here still, that's good. I'm going to go through that whole thing again, but I'm going to switch up how I do it now. Plague Exiles ended already? I mean, it was out for a couple weeks. Any more and people will burn out on it. I mean, they're already burnt out on it. Burn out more. Alright, let's make sure this is set up appropriately. That is not set up appropriately. Let's switch that, because I'm not doing invis today. There we go. We can still use Revenant. That should be just fine. I am also going to switch over a worm to Carrier. There we are. I'm not going for full crate busting Supreme at the moment. This is switching over to a small crate buster and AoE focused weaponry. Taken up 1 step so far. Alright, let's go. So again, 4 runs of this, see what the results change into. And part of that is big blapper rooms.
Here, only understand violence.
Because that is part of utilizing an AoE weapon like this, is you just kind of blow up everywhere you go to just try and get more stuff. Haven't seen Carrier in ages? Yeah. Used to be my go-to as a companion. Right up there for the usage, because more loots means I get more from my shoots. But, that does reach a limit, doesn't it? Again, my focus is not on full looting the map. My focus is on just the difference between kills and incidental crates along with the kills. How's it different from the previous run? Because previous run was using a precision weapon, which was not blowing up crates. And I was using Worm, which was not popping nearby crates. I just got a Parallax Avionics blueprint. I was not going to get that from shooting heads. The difference isn't to try and min-max. The difference is to science. Science does not jump straight to the extremes and call it a day. Science is steps. Science is piecemeal. Science is repeatable, testable hypotheses. And only then can you get the information you're looking for. You didn't catch the initial premise? That's fine. I was going in full detail for everyone else who also hadn't caught it. Okay, these questions are plenty, because I'm very aware of the fact that in a stream as... even as quiet as this one, we're at 77 average viewers, well, 77 concurrent viewers at the moment, which is, I will admit, quiet. Even on something as quiet as this, we're still going to be having a new person dropping in every few minutes. So, yeah. In fact, I think it's close to like every 20 odd seconds at that number of people. Where is everyone? Warframe's just kind of not doing a lot at the moment. That's where everyone's at. Meanwhile, Mirrorlabe is still doing plenty. Mirrorlabe! Thank you very much for the 10 gifted subs out to the community there. Much appreciated. And those of you who did pick up one right there, make sure you do say thank you to Mirrorlabe for that, because that's exceedingly generous. Thank you very much, Mirrorlabe. Where the... There you go. I got him. Hi, Nightingale is an interesting name. Yeah, that is someone with a little bit of AO3-esque vibe about them, isn't there? We shan't judge. Much.
They wanted to do things the hard way, and now they're done.
How many stages do I plan to go? So we're going to do 5 of this mission. Sorry, 4 of this mission, just like I did 4 of the previous one. And again, average out the results, just to get a generalized idea. What I'm looking for is if there is a significant difference in the Entrati Lanthorn output. Not little difference, significant difference. If there's not a significant difference, then, well, we can't really draw much in the way of concrete conclusions, other than to say that it likely doesn't have a big effect. Did I drop some frames from Mirrorlabe? Did the Mirrorlabe moment? Did it lag out on that? That's weird. Nothing lagged out on my side. At least shouldn't have lagged out. Hold on, let me have a quick look at the stream send. 0 dropped frames. Interesting. So, if y'all had some lag there, not sure how that happened. How the hell could Twitch lag from there being gifted subs? That's so weird. That is so weird. Twitch, that's just... What in the coding makes that happen? Anyway, 159 kills, so the same kind of kill rate again. 2 Lanthorns, that's a single drop. 159 for 2. So far, that's just a single data point, and is meaningless until we gather some more data. And the very simple way of gathering more data is to indeed go back in and do it again. This is the way of science. Mirrorlabe has the power to break Twitch. Honestly, not surprised. Just not surprised. Oh, Enchanted Lanthorns already. Well, isn't that a lovely opener? We've already got a drop there. Throw enough money at things will break. I suppose. On a perhaps not unrelated note, it is no secret that next month is October. But that's not the real. It's no secret that next month is the Quest to Conquer Cancer. It is returning, and I will be supporting it once again on this stream here. I hope you'll be joining me in supporting the Quest to Conquer Cancer. The question is, and I've already got big plans set up on that, plans made, but the question is there anything in particular you would like to see for it? For those of you who have not been around in previous years and don't know what the hell I'm talking about, Quest to Conquer Cancer is a big old charity drive, pretty much spearheaded by Digital Extremes, and various creators like myself get involved to help raise money for the Princess Margaret, I think it's Cancer Foundation, something like that. Princess Margaret, basically a big old cancer research charity over in Canada. We've helped in the fundraising 2 years prior, and it's gone exceptionally well. And we'll have to do a more out again this year. You want to see me play through the Starfinder module? Okay, so that one could be interesting in itself. Not least of which, I have been trying for weeks to get hold of a Starfinder book. 2 different vendors have failed me repeatedly so far. I don't know what's going on with that. Also, Eliu! Eliu, thank you very much for the 10 gifted subs out to community there, joining Mirrorlay in the highs we have had. Much appreciated. And it lagged out again. Why is this lagging out? How does Twitch lag? Just because there's subs? I don't get it. I genuinely do not get this. We've not had this before. And again, I'm not dropping frames. It's not like I'm literally failing to send through a stream. If all the frames are there, if the entire stream is streaming, then what is it? Is it the bug animation? I think it's just... The only thing I can think of that makes sense is that it's in the processing of deciding who gets the subs and then putting it into the chat is somehow causing a client-side issue. Casting, to be fair, Starfinder 2 was the TTRPG release of the year. You'd expect that something like that would be better stocked, or at least better known about if it was that big a deal. I can tell you it's not that big of a deal. At least not to the vendors I've tried getting it from. Like, when you have to explain to the nerds running the shop what nerd item you're looking for, not just ask, but explain. It can't be that big. It's easy to get lost in a microcosm of nerdery and feel like something is bigger than it is. But it's like, even if you ask the average person about D&D, they'll be aware of Dungeons and Dragons existing, sure. But most people haven't played it. Most people would have a good guess as to some people who played it, and then if you ask them to name any other tabletop game like Dungeons and Dragons, they'll be like, you mean like Monopoly? I mean, so far, in real life, in meeting people, introducing myself and whatnot, the entire time I've been a Warframe creator, I've had maybe half a dozen people go, yeah, I've heard of Warframe. I've played Warframe. Maybe another half dozen go, oh, I think I've seen an advert for that. And the rest just blank face it. No. Is that like a war game? Like, well, yeah, there's war in the name Warframe, but that is the daftest question I've had on it. Is it like a war game? 142 for 2. In person, I have met 0 people outside of the context of a Warframe convention, 0 people who had already heard of me. In person. There has been one individual who my brother was just speaking to at a bar somewhere, talking about it. They mentioned they're into gaming, like, oh, my brother's into gaming as well. He makes videos, like, oh yeah, what for, what stuff? He showed them my channel, they went, that's your brother? I watch that guy all the time! Like, how does my brother meet them, but not me? But hey, there we are. So the point I'm making there is that doesn't matter how invested you get into something, if it's not even referenced in the news, there's a good chance it's actually just a very small detail in the grand scheme of things. SF2 is Starfinder 2nd edition. Recent release. And in October, they have a module coming out for it, a standalone module, which is, it's Warframe. Warframe themed, playable in Starfinder 2nd edition. And I really need to get my hands on the TTRPG book. Ugh. I'm playing in 2 years, how much missing out on Starfinder or on Warframe? Those are two very, very different questions. So how we got the Twitch is animating confetti as separate objects. Looking at different colored rectangles in the website code.
Looking for easy salvage.
Huh.
We are nobody's free lunch.
So when you say they're animating, are they 3D animating celebratory particles on screen in such a way that's causing people to lag when we get subs? During September. Don't know a lot of TTRPGs. Does Gloomhaven / Descent count? I'm going to say yes, but I don't know. Also, the enemies have changed. That could affect our data. This is a problem. I just realised where it took me more than one shot to kill an enemy because shield gating was saving some of their asses. I have no way of knowing how or even if that will affect the results because no published drop tables.
So happy you're here.
Concern. Oh, just gonna keep blowing up the area, blowing up some crates in the process. Not many crates. The aim isn't to blow up all the crates, it's just to blow up the ones which are near to the enemies. A passive crate buster, if you will. I will get the ones in that room, though. Am I a physical book kind of player, really? I do prefer physical books, yes. I do prefer physical books. It's just easier to leaf through, to be honest. Will I do the same test in Steel Path as well? I will not know, because that would require double the amount of time to research a singular data point, which is, does the resource drop chance booster have an effect? Fun fact, I don't care about that question. If it doesn't have an effect, we'll leave that to DE to figure out with their, you know, tracking and data reports that others were asserting earlier most definitely have to exist because it makes sense to. Yeah, Energize has come down a lot in price because there's been multiple events giving out Energize, or at least earnable Energize, and also there's been pressure relief on a lot of arcanes through what's called Arcane Dissolution. Massively increasing the access to hard to obtain otherwise arcanes, and therefore bringing down the demand for purchasing them. Game needed that? It did. When Energize was basically farmed from the somewhat toxic and definitely agony-inducing Eidolon hunts, or the even worse drop rates that you could get from Orphix. Yeah, it wasn't exactly a great source of them, was it? And I think this was reinforced by the events that DE were putting out, commonly leading to people over-farming the arcanes, because they would take absolutely any opportunity to get them better than what they had. And this again comes back to, if the players are doing something one way versus another, if they are actively choosing to engage with one farm and avoid another, they're telling you something.
You sent them running.
Alright, did we get a landfall on that run? We did not know. Now, I did kill a few enemies, and also I have no way to know how many crates I blew up in comparison to the other missions, or just for this mission in particular. I'll just have to record what I got there. That is 139 kills, I think that said, which is weird because I think the mission objective was 142. Yeah, so go figure on that one. A 0. Is there a better way to get ribbon transmuters? I mean, the best way is to trade. Just trade with people. Sell ribbons, buy others. A lot of game mechanics are designed as a backup if you just refuse to engage with the community. So whether that is refusing to engage with relic cracking, and you just want to turn your ire straight into void traces, whether that's refusing to trade arcane, so you go through arcane dissolution, refusing to trade mods, so you go through transmutation. A lot of it comes down to just an alternative outlet. It's an interesting question, Trax. So Trax asking, why did they do it, as in reference to why did D make Arcane Dissolution and therefore make a lot of arcanes much more accessible? Wasn't it making the most amount of money? Since not everyone could afford it, nor were willing to go through the Eidolon grind, they would just buy it, thereby buying plat. Not really sure why they did it. Maybe they decided that after crunching the numbers, having the item be that expensive for so long was not actually that good. Maybe they crunched the numbers and found out they'd make more money by making it cheaper. Think about it from this perspective. If it's already been out for a while, the whole Arcane Energize costing 1,000 or 2,000 platinum, already been out for a while, and so the people who are going to put in the effort and put in the grind to get the 1,000 to 2,000 plat for it, they've now got their Arcane. So if they then increase the supply massively and bring the prices down to 250 platinum, they've now made it affordable to an entirely new category of people who previously wouldn't spend the platinum for it because they just couldn't. They just wouldn't. So it's possible they may have crunched the numbers there and discovered they would get more platinum. But that is only a possibility. I don't have the data to support or deny such a possibility. Just putting it out there. Things getting cheaper doesn't always mean less money is spent on it. There's also the aspect of just trying to improve the game and seeing more value in people enjoying access to an item rather than it being hotly restricted.
These corpus ain't here to trade.
It could be that they saw there was a glut of valueless arcanes that they wanted to give value to. Because as much as Energize may have come down in price, other arcanes have gone up in price because of the value of being able to turn it into Energize. And so that has also increased the amount of trading going on. It makes it where you go from a completely useless reward 95% of the time and 5% you get your Energize to a reward that gets you closer 100% of the time. There are various reasons could be invoked there, and the best way you're going to get that answer, unfortunately, is not going to be here. It's going to be from DE themselves, if they would even give such an answer. I don't think any of us are really going to have the exact reasons behind it. Even if we were to go to the forum post announcing it, nothing there says they have to tell you the truth and the whole truth. Nothing but the truth. So, all told, why did DE do it? We can speculate. But one thing we can be certain about is that it has enabled a lot more access to Arcane Energize and other arcanes that people, certainly more casual players, would have previously overlooked as simply out of their reach. And that has got to be a good thing. Energize is so good for beginners. I mean, it's good in general. There are a strange faction of people who would like to dunk on Energize, like it's some kind of newbie crutch, and you should grow out of it. I don't really get where that sentiment comes from some people, because it wasn't 2,000 platinum because it was rare. It was 2,000 platinum at times because it was rare and good. things which are merely rare only command so much of a price. Rare and good? That's fucking expensive. Arcane Energize, if you are proccing it on cooldown, means you're generating, I think it's... What is the cooldown on it again? Shoot. I forget the exact cooldown, but I think it comes out to like 20 odd energy per second, somewhere in that ballpark. Maybe less. It's still a lot of energy. Next thing sounds like Mirror Envy. The people who had Arcane Energize, some of them who were vehemently against it being such a useful item, were ones who owned it and just stopped using it. It's not that it got bad or was a crutch, it's just they found other methods of energy generation that was more well suited to what they were doing. If you were in a very high energy intensity setup, Arcane Energize won't keep up. But if you're not in a really high energy intensity environment, but still could use more than just energy orb drops, then it does do a lot of good. Ooh. Ah. Energize doesn't get worse late game, it just gets side grades like Tower Yellows or Grimoire. It's funny you say that, Kals. I was hearing people saying that Energize was a crutch and not for experienced players before Steel Path existed. Which is before the Grimoire and before those yellow shards. There were haters back then as well. It doesn't matter what the options are, if there is an alternative option, you'll find haters against it. Always is the way, always will be the way. They are. Any new maps, enemies or something? In what time frame, Billy? If you're saying the last 2 years, hell yeah. 1999. Not 1999 new enemies from 1999. Alright, that is our 4th run of testing there. Another 2 Enchanted Lanthorns, and oops, bollocks. And 150 kills. So interestingly there, no significant increase in Lanthorns. It's about the same amount of kills, actually slightly fewer kills, 1 additional drop, which is statistically a rounding error.
Cheers to that.
Now Jade, thank you very much for the 14 months of support, much appreciated there. Hope you're doing well. Ooh. Cheers. Yeah, Billy, if you've been out 2 years... Hold on, yeah. Depending on how precise your 2 years is, if I just kind of go... Give me a moment. If I just do that... I mean... Surely that stands out a bit. No, Ladybug, 1. See, I went to Canada for TennoCon in 2023. In 2023, they announced this side of Deimos, which means that it was later that year that we got our first bits of that. That's 2 years ago. The year after is when we got to see more than the teaser that Quest gave of 1999. It was a year later we actually got to find out about the motorcycle, the atomic cycle, all that lot. It's only been a year. 1999 came out in December last year. Tekra Encore was in March this year. We're only 6 months past that. We then had Isle Weaver a few months ago as well. And now we're due the next bit. which is simultaneously great and mildly frustrating. It's great in that we've had so much to engage with, so much to do, so many new areas, so many new details, new enemies, new factions, new weapons, new equipment, and yet at the same time, it feels like we're in a big old gap right now. Because what actually came out with Tetra Encore was a bit of a rehash of the Lich system to make it faster, but also somehow more mundane. We had some weapons where the majority of them were kind of mastery fodder by the time you get to them, which is wild to say, I'll be honest. We had a bunch of text adventures. Yeah, big old chats. Nice load of lore dumps. But it's not something you can repeatedly engage with. And yeah, I think... Oh, and stage defense. And I don't really count ETA because it's just the same missions, but with extra numbers stuffed into them. I mean, the PD Pix is different, but I also don't really like the PD Pix system. Partly because it's so goddamn opaque to look at. Yeah. From Uncotado, do I think the old piece will be a few nodes like in Twice Labs or an entire new place like 999? Considering the nature of it, I would be very surprised if it's just some nodes on a map. I'm expecting something entirely different. But what that something will be, no idea. Also, Billy, speaking of revealing things, I have a CRT monitor and a beige keyboard in my orbiter. I did not place this here. This is built in. I will not click it right now because it's not important to the stream right now, but yeah. In case you're missing out on what the hell's happened, shit goes click-clack. Yeah. Also, don't get too close to it. It bites. Not inaccurate. But yeah, we're in a bit of a slog at the moment. Not a slog. A bit of a I don't want to say a slump. That sounds harsher than it is. Doldrum. A quiet period. We're in a quiet period. A lull. Thank you. Yes. Brother Oni, yes. See, I don't play enough Baruch. The word left me. That's what it was. We're in a little bit of a lull. And that does make it harder to appreciate just how much has happened in the last 2 years. We've gone from pushing away the threat of Nama, due to a whole fallout of the new war, and then we had the Zaraman punching through, and we're like, ooh, what's going on with that? Where's that next going to go? And that was where we were up to, and having Duviri as well. To then going, hey, guess what? Underneath the Entrati family in the labs, there are, well, the labs, and oh, by the way, rup, tap, tap, boom, whole thing opens up. The freaking giants that we see dotted around the place there, all of the enemies we engage with, to then discovering everything that is going on through transference down to there, meeting all of the absolute insanity of what's going on there, discovering Drifter has more powers than let on, or at least has broader application of those powers than previously let on. Discovering more about Albrecht and his machinations and what is happening on that side of things. Discovering that Kalimos, the cat, can also just turn into a ghostly form, just because. That's weird. We have to acknowledge that is weird as fuck, right? My Kavat does not do that. Ever. And then there was the I'll weave a bit as well, and the continuation of the storyline just a little bit further over there. When you consider all that has happened in the last couple of years, all the bits and pieces that have come out, all the discoveries we have made, and the many, many more questions being asked, let alone answered. Yeah. There's been a lot. We're just in the quiet before the storm of the next drop. Labour said, do you think Kalimos can turn into a ghost because they want to animate her clambering around? See, that's the thing, they wouldn't need to animate her clambering around that much, would they? Because Kalimos is a Kavat. Kalimos uses a Kavat model. And we have Kavats, and they pathfind, because they walk to things. So, they could just tell the cat to walk to things. It didn't need to turn into this ghostly apparition. And because it didn't need to, the fact that it does means that it actually does that. The cat just does that. It just does that. Alright, let's switch frame. Let's switch on over to Zaku. Zaku Prime, of course. Maybe that's a bunch of shards in there. Alright then. Need to make sure this is on a appropriate higher range setup. Nope, we want to go higher than that. Oh, Golden Goblin? Don't think we want to go Golden Goblin. No, this will do. This will do lovely. Alright then. Back to the Blappening. You've got Prime Shuffled, that is good. Yep, back to the Blappening. Let's go make this happen. Name of the real Kalimos died? I don't recall Kalimos dying, no. But then, you know, as seen time and time again in Warframe, if things die, they get better.
We got a bunch of Granum clowns looking for easy salvage.
Oh, nope, this is not the build I wanted. I didn't look at the efficiency. Alright, take care, Ladybug. Catch you around. Yeah, let me get a correct build. Alright then, so Golden Goblin, yeah, that is much more efficient. I still probably would like to go full efficiency. And I don't need Rolling Guard right now. Probably. So I could do that. That gets me to full efficiency. Yeah, let's do that. Isn't Brutus failing you as well? The Jade and stuff? Oh, yeah. I forget even how long ago that came out, but... yeah, there is... that node right there, Ascension. Yep. Any new ship skins? I'm the wrong person to ask about that. Chat, help the guy out on that one. We all know how it is when we're in skins. Frankly, half the time I forget that Lavos got updated with a Prime. Stalker ship? Ah, yes. Stalker ship, yeah.
Greedy, plundering,
Alright.
bastards.
Big old blappening. So now I'm gonna attempt to softly loot the area. Like I'm trying to find void plumes, but not by putting in a lot of effort. Also, that was one hell of a wide area explosion. You gotta acknowledge that. Give me your guns. Thanks! Zaku versus low levels is basically a hack. Let's be real.
No flagging.
Basically hacking.
Little meat grinder.
Do you think about Lavos? 6,000 mastery? I mean, where's the lie, honestly? I am the Lavos main, at least in the creator space. And where's the lie?
Decided you're bad for business.
The changes to Lavos into Lavos Prime, like with most Prime frames, if we're quite honest, just comes down to drip. And again, I am not the person to come to for that kind of talk. I pay so little attention to fashion, sometimes I forget what I'm wearing. As I said that, I had to think for a moment which trousers I have on, because I didn't remember, and actively had to think about it. That's how little I care for fashion. You had levels when you learned him? That's an Mesa? I mean, this is what I've been telling people. This is what I've been telling people. 2 guides I put out. Some people cottoned on a bit. I put out basically a love letter to a Warframe. Then people switched on. Like, oh, that's what you meant when you said he's fucking amazing. Ah, I thought you were just saying words. Now, no one said exactly that. I mean, it felt like it at times. But it's fine. The more people underestimate Lavos, the less likely he is to be nerfed. And that's good. Also, he doesn't need a nerf anyway. He's good, but he's not broken. He's just good. Frame is just good. Is Lavos good? If Lavos were a Twitch viewer, Mirrorlab would be in 2nd place for support. That's how good Lavos is. You can't forget what you're wearing. It's because you wear the same thing all the time. No, I mean, fair enough, yeah. I think there is something there that I'm supposed to be picking up. Is it underneath? Can this guy just, like, go away? Oh my god, so needy. There's 2 of them? Have I just not been paying attention? Very possible. There we are. Alright, this thingy bobbity bob. There you are. Got ya. Boy plume. Ooh, don't hit the nullifier, don't hit the nullifier. Wait for Oberon? We'll see what Oberon gets tomorrow, won't we? We will see what Oberon gets. Have I just been skipping over a bunch of these? I feel like I might have. There we go. Yeah, Zaku is weird that they gave them budget void damages. On Thursday? Yeah. I don't know why they just decided to make this dev stream tomorrow instead of Friday as normal. It is a very odd choice, and I'm not sure it's the cause. We'll probably find out tomorrow. Probably because it's 10 of VRP in Tokyo. There we are, that could well be the cause. That could well be the cause if they got somewhere to be. I mean, yeah. Alright. So, kills on this run, 161. Not a single Lanthorn. Interesting. I'll be honest, that is not what I expected there. Not what I expected. Nah, Warframe International streams on Wednesdays for their version of Prime Time, if I recall. Yeah, got a whole bunch of different bits there, including a Moa Spectre blueprint, as one does. But, no Lanthorns. Curious. Does that happen on the second run? Come on, Zaku, do better. And bam! And the crates are
We got a bunch
popped.
of random clowns looking for easy salvage.
How the fuck did I pop something 740 meters away?
Some
What in the loopy map geometry is that? I can't even go through that door. Okay. In case you ever wondered how much Warframe maps loop, that's how much they loop. What's in the mug? Tea. Some very cold tea.
So long as they keep coming, you keep killing.
But yeah, that is extra loopy right there, my word. Yoink. Oh, hello. And a parallax piece. Job bueno. Cheers, bye. Yeah, if there's one thing I can track throughout the streams, it's the temperature to which my tea drops towards the end of a stream very nicely correlates with what season we're in. I can tell we're into autumn, not just by the cold that is creeping into my toes, not by the fact that I am now wearing my thermal trousers indoors all the time, to try and keep the heating bill down a bit, because let's face it, heating bill's getting insane. No, it's the fact that my tea is now fridge fucking cold. Not intended, just got carried away with stuff. Also, where am I supposed to be going, please? Thanks. Hello, Queen. How you doing? So you had yourself a good time at the fair. Okay, I don't know if it's like fridge cold. I don't have a thermometer to shove in there to know for certain, but it's cold. But yeah, maybe it's not fridge cold. No. It's I would say it's probably like, yeah, maybe like 10 degrees. Maybe 12. At least that's how it feels. Could be that it's actually warmer than that, but yeah, these things can be. Still have the thermostat set to summer, so it's doing its best not to turn on. Gonna have to have a natter with a housemate about that, really. It is definitely reaching the point where I want to change that. Because air temperature still feels okay, but it's the black bulb temperature that gets you. Alright. Where are these lanthorns? I picked up 4 drops of them on this mission. See, now that is a lot more like my previous experience. That first mission was a bait. There we go. We're gonna have to see if this is the outlier, or if the first mission was the outlier. This is why we have to do these things multiple times over. Please stop resisting my damage.
Your assignment is overdue.
Oh, you're ill now, Queen. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you recover soon. Perhaps you just overexerted yourself at the event.
As a net loss. Corpus Force is retreating. You did good.
Alright. Corpus retreating, despite all of their Guardian bloody Eximus. 8 damn lanthorns, which is 4 pickups. That's good. 4 pickups in only 149 kills. That is very good. At least, seems good. Let's see if we can get better even. Oh, you're gonna go watch the news, Faraday? Alright. We'll see you in 15 minutes when you're even more upset. Yoink. Oh, there's something over here that didn't pop.
Corpus ain't here to trade. They're looking
Got
to
'em.
steal from us.
I don't need these void plumes, but loot. It's a looter shooter. I'm gonna fucking loot. Fuck. There's something.
Don't slow down now. Body count can go way higher.
No idea. That must be another floor below me that's I'm picking up there on the sensor. Didn't used to be like that, but at some point they changed it. I feel like a couple years ago now. It used to be that loot radar and enemy radar had much stricter verticality, which avoided a lot of those issues. And then I think it was changed with Ascension game mode being brought in, because it's such a vertical mode. I think that's when they changed the vertical limits of loot and enemy radar. I could be wrong, but I think that's when it happened. It does lead to an increasing number of moments where you go, wait, where is the loot? It's just somewhere else. Entirely.
I am so encouraged
Yoink.
by your progress. I'm sure the Golden Masters
I take partial
will be
credit
as
for
well.
raising how silly these were on release and getting them, getting DE to change that. I did partial credit, but you know, I highlighted just how stupid it was. For those of you who may not remember, on the release of the Zaraman, when you interacted with the Malika console, you put in the device, she would then yap on for a while, and only after she came to the end of that monologue would she then actually give you your reward. But it turns out that if you just interacted twice, you would cancel the original dialogue and shift her back over to, oh, you don't have a device. In doing so, you would force her to then end the previous consideration and immediately drop the reward. So DE then changed it to where she dropped the reward at the start of the monologue rather than the end. Just so people didn't have to straight up dialogue skip her. Hello, would you like to die? Here, let me help you actually, you're dying too slowly. Bloody Xmas. See, that's how it's supposed to go. Not gonna do the angel, we're not interested in the angel. Angel's got nothing for me. The Goblin Camp moment, I mean, come on. If there is an NPC being slow about giving me the rewards after a long spiel we've heard a million times, don't be surprised that I find some way to optimize it. I mean, that should just be a given. Ken denied rewards? Ken getting rewards. Gib. I put the loot and loot to shoot to every damn opportunity I can. And you know it's worth it. Yeah. Straight through the nullifier. Bastard. There we are. There's a practical problem? Yeah, exactly. I solve practical problems. How to not have to wait for your loot? Press the button again. That's like opening up the control panel of an elevator and reconnecting the door close button that a lot of them have disabled, so you can actually close it quicker. Not that I advocate for tampering with elevators. It's just practical. Give. Thank you. Get blapped. Oddly specific? I have no idea what you could be on about.
Busted helmets and boots full of blood all over the deck. Corpus are broken. I'm kind of impressed.
Couldn't imagine what you're insinuating. Would I like to share with the class? I can certainly share that I would never and have never caused intentional or otherwise damage to a large public building. That's just a known fact. One that you should assume of me, for I am a reasonable and good person, like you know. Hello, Vrostes. Vrostes. There we go. Sometimes practical things are bad things and you shouldn't do them. This is well understood. Oh, Flo, did you just try to bait out the bot? Did you just try to bait out the bot with that one? Also, Vrostes? Cheers. Oh, you're just straight up telling me I need a haircut. Fair enough. Okay. Could have lied to me on that one. Alright then, let's see. Results from that one, another 2 drops in 167 kills. I'm going to go one more just to keep it consistent on the test, but this is seeming pretty consistent so far. Oh, I see, Flo, I see. I thought they dropped from bounties, not just doing the mission. Oh no, yeah. Apparently Zaraman Exterminate just has a drop for that. Halako Perimeter? Oh yeah. 9.76% chance of an Enchanted Lanthorn at the end of Halako Perimeter. I didn't know that. Halako Perimeter has mission rewards, just like a Void Exterminate mission, and most of those rewards are relics. Actually, no, not most of them. Most of those rewards are credits and endo. Most of the list is relics, but most of the drop chance is just credits and endo. Which is probably why most people don't notice. It's also otherwise a Void Gel Orb, Entrati Lanthorn, Gale Force Dawn 4.8% of the time, and then each of the Miso relics just 2.44% per relic. Huh. Odd number, no likey? Ah, Queen, look at it this way. It is a factor of 30, and it's a factor of 20, and a factor of 30 over here. So 3 different resources are all multiples of the Enchanted Lanthorns we got. Nice clean multiplier there. Does that make the brain squish happier? Yeah, didn't realise they were a mission reward. Yeah, learn something every day. I'm probably going to forget that one. Also, yoink.
From us. Give them hell.
I can't help it. This is how I end up with so much loot in general in Warframe. I can't help it. If I have an opportunity to loot, if I have an excuse to loot, I will loot everything. I will rip the picture frames off the wall and use them to put up a poster of Ballas to stab. I will loot.
Keep fighting.
It ain't a question.
Loving this.
It's an expression. Doesn't matter if it's efficient. Just do it. Nom 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 nom. Okay, gotta be very careful here. Don't want to activate the angel. Don't want to activate the angel. There we go. Because yeah, cannot be fucked with the angel right now. Not what we're here for. Okay. Wasn't here for that either, but it looked like loot. I picked it up. Let's go slam it in.
Don't think your academic achievements
Yoink.
aren't being noticed. Oh no.
Let's continue our way this way. Yep, we got another one of these guys doing these beams of doom. Whatever buff I had has just run out. Completely forgot I had one of those buffs, but it's all good. Got some Lanthorns. 2 Lanthorn drops already. That is good. I think we can be pretty conclusive on this that just exploding the area of Zaku is, unsurprisingly, giving us a hell of a lot of extra Lanthorn drops. Alright, Viralady Flex. Alright. Get 4,000 Intrati Lanthorns, as you do. You know, there are starving children in Africa who could have those Lanthorns. How dare you? You have a suspicion of one of the parallax parts? Where is it? There we are. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Also, now I have to go grab this. Give. Yoink. How the... Get out of there, you... Another one down here. That's a... Wait, what the... Huh? Ah, yes. There we go.
I must come, as you can see, being a student.
Oh, I forgot to pick up the thing. Oops. I put it in and immediately walked away. Oops. My bad. Right. Who's making noise down here? There we are. This weapon is not really designed for taking out single targets like that, but we got there. You got over 1,000 Lanthorns yourself, Aegir? Yeah. Apparently you've been doing a lot of either Zaraman or Labs. Not many other ways to get it. Have you run many Netra cells?
Here we go
players?
again. Smile.
Yo! Steeljaw! Thank you very much for the 20 months there. Much appreciated. Something there has just reminded me. Didn't we get a whole bunch of gifted subs earlier and that kicked off a hype train and that hype train came to a conclusion and I didn't actually mention it? Ooh. We'll do that after this mission. I'm very sorry. I had completely forgotten. No one called me out on it. I take only partial responsibility. Yeah, Netra cells give you a guaranteed Lanthorn just for running it. Yeah, we did indeed get a level 4 train. Got the record on that side of the screen right there. With regards to the hype bonus giveaways as well, because now is a good time as any to mention, I will be pausing them throughout August. October. I will be pausing them throughout October, and the simple reason for that is that we're going to be having the QTCC stuff going on. So that will be a much bigger focus. There won't really be the room for hype bonus giveaways alongside that. It would just get messy, I'll be honest. So to avoid that mess, the QTCC stuff will be taking precedence throughout October. It'll also give my plat balance a moment to recover because we've done a few giveaways. Just a few, you know. I made outfit straight. I swear, the number of people who seem to know me for one thing and one thing only is the fucking maid outfit. The obsession. What is it about the maid outfit that is so... I don't know. Enticing? Memorable I can understand, but noteworthy? I do not look good in it. Not any better than I otherwise do. It's certainly not a very Ken outfit. Queen, don't make me read that. I'm not saying that. You only know me from the informational videos, but now you know I've been... Yeah, there've been a couple mage streams, all for charity. There wouldn't be any other bloody reason. Can the angels drop enchanted lanthorns? I don't think they have a drop like that. They just have the void plume, don't they? Alright. Done there for another 2 drops on 150 kills. Now, this isn't particularly conclusive. Not particularly conclusive, but it is still highly, highly, highly indicative. So, in 4 runs with a precision-only weapon, there were 2 drops of an enchanted lanthorn total. In when I stepped it up to using an AoE weapon, it went from 2 drops to 3 drops, albeit with slightly fewer kills, but yeah, so not very great. But now, another 4 missions, slightly higher kill count, I want to say, just on average, but yeah, it's just how these missions go. But the drops increased from 3 to 9. 9 enchanted lanthorn drops, not even counting the mission end one there. It's a pretty damn big increase overall. So, we can take away from that at least one detail, which is that when it comes to region resources, blowing up the crates, just in general, is a very big damn deal. Cannot be skipped out on. It is a big part of getting the resources you want. Certainly, not just incidental crates, but wide area looting seems to be a big deal. Anyway, yeah, hype train. So, let's see. It says here, hype train completed. You were going through level 5, got 73% of the way through level 5. Very, very nice indeed. So that is a quadruple giveaway to do. Quadruple. Alright, let's get that loaded up then. So, let's just switch to the handler. There we go. What do we give away today is the question. You know what? Mirrodame gifted a round of boosters earlier. Let's do a gift of a round of boosters. And the way the boosters work when it comes to... Oh, Samuel, you might need to change your keyboard language there. So the way that it works when it comes to the boosters is that they don't start ticking until you open it in your inbox. So if you do happen to win one and you don't want to use it right away, just don't open the inbox message. Just leave it there waiting until you're ready with it. Alright then. So, we're going to be doing boosters. If people, including the mods, can stop doing the ticket command for just a moment so as not to confuse other people, that would be very great. So we're going to be giving away 4 lots of 3-day boosters. 4 people can be winners here, and the entries are now open. So, exclamation mark, hype me in the chat for a chance to win one of these 4 3-day boosters. We got 4 of them at once because we had 4 levels of hype train completed at the same time. You wonderful, wonderful people. Exclamation mark, hype me in the chat for a chance to win that little bit of hype from the hype train right there. A reminder as well, all of you who are sliding on in, if you see the Lavoses, the lava pods going around, that is the default avatar there, but if you are a subscriber or a VIP, then you are also able to change what avatar you use when it is in these giveaways. So if you use exclamation mark pick frame and the name of the frame you'd like to be instead, then your avatar will be different for any future giveaways we do using this program as well. And likewise, if you've not already applied me with your in-game name. In case you do win a giveaway, make sure you use the !IGN command. !IGN. Along with what your actual Warframe username and platform is, so I know where to send the rewards if you do win one. Hello Raptor, how's looting? Gone pretty well. Plenty of testing has gone well. Let's give you all a moment to get in on that. I do notice we have... let's see here. Yeah, we are definitely on the quieter side today, so I don't imagine there's going to be too many people in, which means this is actually the best chance you've had of winning one of these boosters. 4 at once, and we got fewer people here than normal. I mean, that's a double whammy of wins for y'all. That's a double whammy of wins. Basically 1 in 20. Bite, that's not how odds work. Unless you're referencing the people who are... people watching in total. I'm looking at the number of people who are actually joining. I think 20 people just vanished, which is weird, but there we are. That is weird. Alright then, I think that is enough time for everyone to get in on that. If you've not already grabbed yourselves a hype me, then you clearly didn't want to be part of it. Alsu. Coming in right at the last moment there. Alright then, let's do our draw and find out who our 4 winners are. Do you put the numbers in the in-game name? You don't need to, but it helps me verify I've definitely got the right account. So if you haven't done it, not even close to the end of the world, you're fine. Alright, and here are our winners today. Our winners are Scarto93, Raptor Mark II, Happy Hour Moon, and Al Aegir. Aegir, Happy Hour Moon, Raptor Mark II, and Scarto93. Congratulations to all 4 of you there. Make sure you have used the !IGN command if you've not already done so. And if I could have from each of you, please, if you could send me a DM with what booster you would like to receive. So if you want to receive the credit booster, resource drop chance booster, or a affinity booster, send me that in a DM on Twitch here. If you don't send it over, I will default to sending you over a affinity booster because a lot of people love those. But do DM me if you want a different booster there. Alright. That wraps up on that particular giveaway. Let's bring the webcam back. I'm no longer blocking any parts of that particular screen. We can dive back into things, can't we? Okay, so far, gone through the mission based on kills and grabbed a whole bunch of loot. Based on kills and incidental crate busting, and then kills and full crate busting. The crucial detail, and it feels crucial, but maybe I'm wrong there, the crucial detail I'm missing is how many crates I was blowing up. And the problem is, I don't think there is any reasonable way of counting that whilst getting these drops. There's a reason I say that's potentially no reason. Oh, Scarto saying, unlucky, just change account name, you still get the booster. Scartos, why would you do that? It's literally just transpired. Just transpired. And you change your name? Let's see. Can I verify that? Because we don't want the actual Scartos 99 to be like, what are the chances? And really pissed off. Oh, was it 99? No, it was 93, wasn't it? Oh, Aegir, you having issues with the boosters? You like resource. Aegir, if you could DM me on Twitch, on Discord then, please. Because I definitely know that that is your account. Right. Nope. Go the other way. What? Oh, for crying out loud. Wrong file. There it is. Right. Alright, cool, yeah. Scatos, all good, as I've just done the double check on my end, and it is linking up correctly there for you. So please just do use your IGN command again. I'm just going to update the details on this side. There we are. So just make sure you've done the IGN command and DM me with exactly which booster it is you want, so that I can get that sent to you at the end of the stream. All of the giveaways will be handed out at the end of the stream there in terms of the boosters, because those are from yours truly. And the plat giveaway, which will run at the very end of the stream, that is handed out by D in batches. I think the next batch is due at the start of October. Alright, so, Float say I'm pretty sure the end screen stats shows number of crates blown up. I'm fairly certain it doesn't, unfortunately. We're gonna just pop into this real quickly and demonstrate. If I abort out the mission, it should still have stats from what has happened, and then I can show you the stat screen. Couldn't show you right then because I'd left the quote-unquote open world.
Greedy, plundering corpus
If I just blow up a few things.
board without permission.
Bop, 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 bop.
Mow them down without a second.
Alright, and then we... actually, I could just view mission progress right here. So, none of that is crates opened. We have damage dealt, damage taken, total kills, headshot kills, melee kills, deaths, upgrades received, which is mods picked up, abilities used, fire accuracy, pickup count, which is everything I've lifted up off the floor, and revives. None of that is number of crates blown apart. And so that prevents us from getting us that information that way. Yeah, so when a player highlight pops up, it might say crates opened, and even then we know that figure is inaccurate. We know the stats that appear at the top there are inaccurate. Because it'll sometimes tell you you've got so many Xmas kills when you haven't even got that many kills. You know that it'll sometimes pop up there and say you've opened up hundreds of crates on ESO, where there's not hundreds of crates to open. And the reason that is happening is because there is a Saren in the squad, you are popping Saren spores. For some reason they counted as crates. So those metrics can't even be trusted. Which only adds to the infuriation of it. Only adds to the difficulty of knowing just how precise this all is. Is wild, to put it simply. I mean, fire accuracy is a curious one, really. That is a result of just some bad math, if nothing else, of having hits not correctly tied to shots. But things like the number of Xmas you've killed, just straight up fabricating the number of Xmas that existed in the first place, let alone died to your hand, is wild. That's not bad math, that's bad logic. So yeah, it leaves a lot to be desired when it comes to getting that information. Now, here is the issue, is that if crates do have the same kind of drop table as enemies, which is possible, we're not ruling it out at this point, it is possible that crates, perhaps on average or per tier to per tier of enemy, have the same drop table as enemies. Well, I got 2 Intrati Lanthorn drops across 599 kills on the kills only run. I then proceeded to get 9 Intrati Lanthorn drops on the kills and crate busting runs, which would suggest that out of all of that time, just taken as a simple estimate, 7 of those drops were from crates. If 7 of those drops are from crates, and they're dropped at the same rate as from enemies, we just take 599, we divide it by 2, we times it by 7, that would be 2,096 crates. 2,096 crates. And I don't think anyone here would reasonably object to me saying no thank you to the idea of shooting crates one by one to keep a count as to how many I popped open. to try and generate a drop rate from crates alone. Let alone counting individual crate types to further narrow it down. I hope you'll forgive me on that. That is a level of investigation which, quite frankly, no one should have to suffer, and is probably why we don't have this information on the wiki either. Because who the hell wants to go through this? Who? It is the area where only D can reasonably give us the info. And that is pain. So, I think it's time to instead look at this from an angle of necrosity. Which is a fancy way of saying, let's look at Necros. Same situation, same area. I don't want newbie support. Do I have just a simple little despoil build ready to go, or am I just going to use a newbie support one? Probably going to use a newbie support one, it seems. Okay, then. I will switch out the Cunning Drift, however, for some Prime Shift Footed, because knockdowns are horrible. And the rest of it can just sit there, because I can't be bothered. Alright, then. And let's use... Let's switch to Cronin there. I'm going to do a combo Cronin Envoy Carrier setup. Or Ripcast? Actually, yeah, that's smart. Yeah, Ripcast. I completely forgot they existed. You're very right. Because then I can just keep shooting. Yep, there it is. Gore chance. Alright, that's fine. I could just shoot. Oh, thank God for that. I didn't want a melee. Alright then, so let's just blapinate our way through this. Let's see what happens there.
Greedy, plundering,
Alright.
corpus
That is now active.
without permission. Mow them
Carrie's going
down
to do its thing of
without a
popping some
second
crates as
thought.
well. But my focus is... Oh, lanthorns. That was the crate that was over here. I can't scan it. It's just gone. Mildly frustrating, but yeah, we've already got lanthorns from a crate.
Don't slow down now. Body count can go.
Did he not change the body part multi-loot with Necros? I can't remember if it was a change or a revised, as in undone change. At one point there was the push to make it where Necros only looted each corpse once, but a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people didn't like that, and so the change, or the situation we now have, is that large body parts get looted individually. So if you split them into an upper torso and lower torso with legs, that's two things to get desecrated. I think previously any number of body parts could be individually rolled, and I've verified time and time again that is no longer the case. But for a short amount of time, Necros could only loot any body once. And now it's up to twice, based on if you do split them into two large pieces. The small pieces don't count, only large ones. As for what precisely defines a large one, please don't ask me those questions. Those are difficult questions. Just know that it works, okay? But you. So the idea is I'm going to have to hang around my kills a little bit longer to enable everything to kick in. Because it's not an instant effect disability. Has my testing shown whether having Gore disabled affects it? That is an interesting question because I currently have Gore disabled. Does gore chance apply to all kills, not just ripgas? I believe so. But, yeah, I do currently have gore disabled, which may well affect it now I think about it. At least right now. Because they're not being split up. So, yeah, I usually have gore disabled just so I don't end up with a scene that unfortunately goes against YouTube's monetization policies, which would be bad. He's not split into pieces. Not split into pieces. But also not split into pieces. No, 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 no. Please. Please. Please stop. There we go, we split that guy up. So much for 100%, eh? Yeah, that one got split into pieces. And we got loot from the lower leg there, couldn't see the upper. But that's not seeming to gore them. Well, you remember, splitting only happens with slash damage. That's the whole point of the Amalgam mod, is the gore chance becomes 100%, so it's supposed to make it where it splits anyway. That's the whole point. Is it just direct hits? Later? I also do not have a lot of tank on this build, so I'm trying to not perish. Whilst testing. Okay, that one definitely got cut up into pieces. Yeah, and that's another pair of legs just being thrown around. Now if I switch that back... do we still get the legs with less obvious gore? Like, does it stop just the blood? Or do they just straight up stop splitting in half? Seems to be the latter.
Busted helmets and
It seems to be the latter. You there.
Corpus are broken.
Yep.
Kind of impressed.
Interesting. I'm gonna cut that curiosity short to look at that another way.
You know
Yay,
what they
15
say.
missions.
The road to good intentions be paved with hell.
Alright. Nope.
You are a true hunter. Where would the sanctuary be?
Let's have a look at this, because I don't recall specifically testing this feature, and we could just try it now. Now, you might be wondering, Ken, how are you going to test it in the simulacrum? The good news is that whenever you get a successful roll on looting a corpse, it disintegrates and pops out a health orb. It then has a separate 90% roll to give you extra loot on top of the health orb. So here we just need to look for the health orbs, and we know if we got a successful roll or not. So let's spawn in a bunch of butchers. Whole bunch of weak boys. Activate this. So this is gore off at the moment. And you have no proc on that one. No proc on that one. Proc on that one. We saw the health all come out after they'd already rolled their loot. So what I'm looking for in particular is 2 orbs from the same corpse. Because that would suggest that there's multiple rolls happening. That's 1. Oh. Speed this up a little bit. 1 from over there. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Again, 1 and no. And the overall chance of that few health orbs in general just feels low. Interesting. Is it not 2 in the 5? So a health orb that comes out at the moment they die is not from the loot roll from the ability. We're looking for health orbs coming out from the corpse to suggest that's 2 from the corpse itself, not from the death. 2 separate stages, Mirror Labor. None of those appear to be 2 from corpse. Don't complain just yet, y'all. Don't complain just yet. We ain't verified anything. Can Latum even split them? I've got the Ripcast equipped, and Latum does have Slash built in, so it should be able to. But we're about to verify that as well anyway, so you'll see. It was splitting earlier anyway, so... Oh, there's your answer. That's a split. And that was 2 orbs. Split. Or from there. Not from there. That was 1. 0. And this is splitting every time. 2. Definitely 2. 1, 2. Oh, didn't get a split on that one. I think I hit him in the arm. If I intentionally... Oh, wow, okay. Don't split the corpse post-death. But the body shot seems to consistently do it. I got 2 different perish conditions there. Interesting. Yeah, only half the body is being considered burning. One extra health orb. 1 again. So this is seeming a lot higher. 1 over there. Yeah, so that did seem a lot higher, didn't it? Not just a little bit, not just like random chance go burr. That was a lot higher. We switch back off the gore now that we know 1 for certain it's definitely working, and 2 it's working on the split bodies. No split, no split, no split, no split. Ooh, this is very interesting. I'm seeing individual orbs only. And no splitting going on whatsoever. That is very interesting. Alright, yeah. I'm convinced. So the disable gore setting personally does impact it. Now, let's get cursed. I'm going to need someone to join me on a test. Who would like to join me on this test? You may indeed, Flo. That was your question after all, I believe. You may indeed join in. Send me a message in game. Let's bring you into the squad. The way we're going to do this, Flo, is that I'm going to load in with Gore disabled, and I would like you to load in with Gore enabled.
You will make an excellent hunter.
I'm going to be the host, invite you in that way. We're going to test it that way around. We're going to test it with me killing some of them, and we're going to test it with you killing some of them. Because we're not just testing host and client, we're testing who controls what loot is possible. Who controls what splitting is possible? Because is Gore enabled disabled just a what I see thing? Or is it what I'm capable of? Is it possible that you could split a corpse on my screen because you don't have the setting applied to turn it off? These are the kind of things that could all be possible. I need to set that to invite. There we go. And all of these affect how it could come together. We already know that this setting has a tangible effect on Necros, and will therefore have an effect on anything else that loots corpses like that. Of which there's not many features, but still, that's a thing. So let's load us into this once again. Flo has said they've got Gore enabled. I have it disabled. Let's see what happens here. So, for the very first test, Flo, I'd like you to walk up with me. Make sure your companion is turned off, please. Thank you. So you're going to walk up with me, just so you can see what I'm shooting. And what I want is to know if any of the corpses get split on your screen. That's all we need to know at this point. Do any of the corpses get split on your screen when I shoot 10 of them? Because if I had Gore enabled, split. Okay, Flo is seeing them being split. That is interesting. Pause. Pause test. Pause test. Did I see that? Back record. Get the video. Bring it up so you lot can see it. So at the moment at the back there's one corpse on the right. Okay, belt away, it wasn't that corpse. Let's see. We got a couple of corpses in the back there. Yes! I did see it correctly. That one corpse ejected 2 health orbs. After all the fucking testing, without Flo, it then happened. Wait. Flo, you say that, it's not necessarily too wrong. What if it's only possible if anyone enables Gore? Or vice versa, it only stops being possible if no one enables Gore. Flo, could you please turn off Gore in your settings? Please turn off Gore in the settings. We won't need to reload, just turn it off. Gore is gone. Okay. So, let's see what orbs pop out here. None from that one, and that's just moved all of these over here. That's cool. Nothing. Now, Flo, tell me if you see a health orb pop out of any of these. Just immediately in the Warframe chat if you see a health orb pop out of one of these. I've just seen one over here, so you should have seen that as well. I'm hoping you saw this one. Yep, cool. Okay, so we are seeing the same orbs. That's a normal drop. And that one didn't generate one. I want you to make sure you've seen the difference between a kill drop and a looting drop. Yep. Same. Nothing on that one. That's a kill drop. Just a kill drop. That one. Nope. Just a kill drop. Looting drop over there. We got a kill drop. And 2 separate loot drops. But none of these were doubled. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. Alright, let's spawn some more in. So for this next test flow, I'm going to stand up here. Nice good bird's eye view. My ability should be in range to affect all this. Let me check. Actually, ability, desecrate. Yeah, I'm just about in range to affect all of them. So, Flo, kill all of them, please. I'm going to be watching for orbs that pop out. I see 2, 3. Oh, God. Oh, God, the bodies went everywhere. Oh, God. Yeah, I see a bunch of singles popping out. No doubles. Might have been a little too much. You were doing fine with the previous gun, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So, Flo, we're going to do this again, but this time you're going to turn Gore back on. Please turn your Gore back on and then do the same thing. Whenever you're ready, you can go right ahead. Should I use Ripcast? No need to use Ripcast. Just shoot them in the body. Direct center of mass. If you see them splitting, we're good. If you're not seeing them split, then we'll need to redo. I just saw a double back there. Singles, yep. Single, single, single. Yeah, I think I saw the one double, but fairly certain saw that. Don't see them splitting. I could have sworn I saw a double down here. I don't know if I go back. Can I go back and check? I thought I saw a double. But let me just go back and check real quick. It was early on in that particular one. I did see a double. I did see a double. Let me bring this over for you lot to see. Right there. Right at the back. It's the second from the left at the back. We just go bit by bit here. You can see the lay of the land, as it were. Up pops the health orb. Looks like one at first. But you see, it's definitely two. Definitely two from the same source. %, guaranteed, definitely two from the same source there. Interesting. Flo needs a slash-based weapon? Yeah, so... Flo, if you could just grab yourself something decently slashy to just kind of gut split them, that'd be great. Also, please don't throw down random grenades, it might interfere. Yeah, just grab yourself a good old slashy. And again, keep your gore turned on. You want to be able to see gore. I still have the gore setting turned off, despite the fact that I'm the loot frame. With or without ripcast? Include ripcast, yeah. Just increases the chance for gore. We want maximum goreage on your screen. We will remain family friendly here. It's not deaf, they're just sleepy. We don't want to mess with ability shed spot, because that can just change things in ways we don't want to mess with. Oh, fair point from Alex is that desecrate rolls can roll on the enemy drop table. If the enemy drop table includes health orbs, then the enemy can drop double just from that. That is a fair point, Alex. Yeah. That does make things slightly more complicated. Fuck. Alright, well, we'll just kind of proceed. Pray. Flo just needs to grab a slash weapon. Honestly, the Latum was doing the work, so Flo, just grab the Latum. Take off its elements, just grab the Latum. We know it works. Have dread equipped. Okay, that's fine then. Just grab it. Come on. These are level 2 butchers. You don't need to mod it. It's just a slash. It's not status chance that does it, Flo. It's just slash damage. It's not status chance at all. You just need to be center of mass, slash damage, bam, they'll split. Okay. If I see an energy orb and 2 health orbs pop out, that'd be amazing, because that would fully confirm it. I'm going a little bit out of my vision here, not great. 2 health orbs again, but could be just a thing. Nothing too clear there. Flo, were they splitting on your screen this time? Yes, they were. Okay. So, let's clean up this area. It's looking a little bit messy. So, I'm going to need to... I'm going to equip Equilibrium. Let's do Equilibrium over Constitution. There we go. We'll just burn through it all. It's just noise arrows. They won't affect anything. I know I could reload the simulacrum, but honestly, this just seems neater. There we go. Area cleared of orbs. Alright then. Does ammo and orb not count? I mean, we need ammo. Yeah, we need ammo, orb. Is what we'll be looking for there. Alright, so, anyway. Flo, turn off gore. Have gore disabled again, please. Reactivate this. And once again, once you got that disabled, go ahead, aim center of mass, and slice these butchers, please. Again, we're looking for any incidents of double orbing. Oh, I think I saw a double. It might be that these guys just have too good of a drop rate. Yeah, there's another double. There's also the possibility it's not being updated live in the mission here, but... Okay. Very inconclusive at this point in time. The difficulties persist. We're going to switch enemy type, because I wonder if Elite Lancers might be a trick here. Because I don't think every enemy drops health orbs quite as liberally as Butchers. We might just be using a poor choice of enemy here. There we are. Okay, so, with no looting ability on, I'm just going to spawn in a bunch of enemies and kill them myself, Flo. You can just stand back for the moment. How many body parts are we getting per corpse? So the max you can get per corpse that matters for looting is 2 anyway, Gaz. The small ones don't count. What I want to see here is... No, we're still 4 health orb drops. Damn. Just clean those out. There we go. You want 3 drops from 1 corpse? 3 actual drops? Or 3 whats? Because it's large body parts, and if I recall correctly, from when D made the whole changes to loot frames, they said that a body can only split into a max of 2 parts. So you get the kill loot, body part 1, body part 2. You got 3 Auger mods. 3 Auger mods at the same time, so not kill, loot, loot, it was loot, loot, loot. All from the Necros ability. Curious. Elite Lancer's not the way. Elite Crewman? Plus Chesser? Ooh, that complicates matters. They're not supposed to stack, but there's a lot of things that are not supposed to in this game. Right, do these lot drop health orbs? God damn it. There's a lot of energy orbs, but also some health orbs. There we are, cleaned out the area. Which ones? I don't know if you can split those. Just go through the cycle of them. Hellions. God fucking damn it, that's well too many health orbs. Ugh. Amalgams? Can we split amalgams? Like in a way that actually gets affected by looting abilities? Some. Okay. Which some? You know what? Never mind on the amalgams. Apparently I never took Helios to Jupiter. That's not happening. Okay. Ballista. Damn it. Yeah, I think all the grenades just have too many. Maybe Xmas, since they have guaranteed drops. They have guaranteed, but do they have other drops that could interfere with it? Also, how does the guaranteed drop work with the looting ability, for that matter? Oh, that could get... Okay, you know what? Let's have a quick look at that, just for that question. So the guaranteed 2 there, and then... Yeah, just that. Just did loot. 3? Oh, no. Nah, Flo, nah. 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 Don't forget the booster. Booster... I was going to say shouldn't affect health orbs, but if it's on just a generic drop table, then yeah, it might, wouldn't it? This is not going to be something we can reasonably test, is it? Fuck's sake. Okay. Alright. We're going to have to take this right the way back to basics, and rather than getting obvious guarantees, we're going to have to go with drop rates. We're going to have to do it old school style, just count and average. Alright, so step 1 of the test. Flow, please make sure you have gore enabled. We want you to be able to see things be split. Would 100% all gaze help the test? It would not, no, sorry. Yeah, Flow, make it where you can 100% definitely got gore turned on. Excellent. Those after images are weird. So, we're simply going to count up the health orbs that we get, with and without the gore. So we're going to have to do this, we'll do this 3 times so as not to overstress it, but still, that'll be a 60-part test. So, Flo, go ahead and start shooting things. Let's aim to split them. So long as all the corpses fall within the visible area here, we can see how many orbs drop and add it all up. Okay, cool. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 health orbs. Let's clean this area up. Just gonna take me a moment. Flo, how good is your PC at loading? Might consider dipping out and back in each time with this many orbs. Very good. Okay, yeah, we might do that on the next one. Okay. In any case, 15 health orbs there. So let me just note that down. Definitely want to keep that noted. 20x butcher with gore, 15 orbs. Alright, Flo, get back in position. Let's do it again. This is gore on. Center of body, split them up. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye out to see, first of all, if any bodies go in unusual areas that we need to keep track of. Yep, a few up there. I'll need to look over that side for orbs. One drop down here. And another one that picked up 1, so we'll count 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Any fall off? No. That's 11 health orbs on that one. And we'll do that once more. So float, we're going to load and come back. Hopefully that'll be clean. How? Ah, Flo, no. Did you drop squad? I think when I pull us out, we just pull out together into the relay. That's fine. I'll reinvite. Don't know how that health orb got there, though. That was weird. Wouldn't Gara's 1 be enough? Enough for what? Let's load us back in. Massive slash kills. We're not looking for massive slash kills because that also sweeps and sends the bodies all over the place, and that's going to be a pain in the ass to track. Alright, Flo, gore on please, and wait for me to get in position. Alright, I'm ready. Go ahead. And I'm looking out to see if anything slides down here. Oh. Wait for the last ones to go. Alright then, let's count up these orbs. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Any slide off to the sides anywhere? Nope, looks like we are definitely on to 15. Cool. I think I picked one up. I didn't see one get picked up at the start there, I guess, so I'm going to ignore that. I'll do better. Back record. Did I? I didn't look like I had, but... Alright, let's go back to recording. Did I miss one? Yep, I missed one. God, I didn't even see that one. How did that one happen? Oh, corpse slipped under me there. God damn, alright, fair enough, yeah. Extra orb. Damn it. Alright. Maybe take equilibrium off to avoid picking it up by accident. I still spawn in with... Well, I can fix the... No, because I'll constantly have a health drain anyway flow from the ability, so I can't avoid that. I just have to hope they're not close enough, but it's fine. We've got beady eyes on stream, it seems. That's good. So we're going to leave it at there, and then when we go to the relay, Flo, I'm going to need you to turn Gore off now. We've got our benchmark. With Gore off, we should see a roughly 1/3 reduction. Take off etch. Oh yeah, vacuum. Yeah, I could do that. It's off. Cool. Alright, let's go in. Loading quickly in. Companion removed. There we go. First loading times. Alright then, Flo. I am in position. Ability is active. You know the drill. I'm really hoping this gives us the same amount of health orbs. I fear that it shall not. Huh? No, I'd say that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Nicely spotted. Okay. That's good. That is on par with what we were getting before. Alright, we are just going to dip and reload. It's just faster than messing around with things right now. And back in we go. I love how the bottom right popped up saying simulacrum starting in 10, but the time is 5 seconds. Go figure. Alright, ability is once again active. Flow, go ahead and do the thing. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13? Yeah. 13 on this one. Yeah, honestly, yeah, that's already lining up fine and dandy there. So, I'm going to do a couple other tests. This time, Flo, Thank you very much for your assistance on this so far. I wonder if solo or not solo has an effect on how the gore is handled. Let's pop out of that there. I'm going to go back to relay. Now, if this next bit actually has an effect, I'm going to scream. Surely not. Surely this won't make a difference. I will let you know. Thank you, Flo, though. Much appreciated. Surely this won't make a difference. Okay. So, if I stay back... Actually, I haven't got effect equipped at the moment. It's a vacuum, so I should be able to go up close. So I should get the same kind of results. Well, I should get the same results. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14. Okay. Yeah, it was definitely that up there. It's 14. Interesting. So what was I seeing before? Alright, take the advice someone else had there. That was to put on a companion. Let's just go with... Let's try not use. I don't use Shade. There we are. I'll just neatly scoop up that. I don't mind the energy orb sitting there, it's just a health one I need to remove. Okay. Give that another go. Helps if I activate that, doesn't it? There we go. Saw a double there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 again. Yeah. All in the right ballpark. That's good, that's good. Alright, let's scoop all this lot up. There we go. So... yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm not used to seeing comical blood splats with every shot. We're testing? Desecrate. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's a lot more. That is substantially more in the health orb drop department right there. Yeah. That is a lot more. Let's do another run. Flo, be ready. We might wanna double check our Reno on this. Flo, do you have your own Necros ready? Better question. could you please get your own Necros ready? I have an idea. Oh wow, okay, so it dropped one on me there, so there was 2 orbs over here. How he fell that far forwards, I will never know. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29? Oh boy. Oh boy, that is... Oh boy. Woo! Why is the plane's drone reroute? Sometimes for taking down the portal and go back instead of its objective. Because sometimes it just gets confused on its pathfinding, and because it's confused, it instead just takes a different route. So it lost how to get to where it's trying to go. And so just goes somewhere else. Yeah, back to where it knew how to get to where to go. Think of it from like your own navigating perspective. Say you were following a Google Maps route. You're following your route, you take your left, take your right, you're down this highway, you've taken that junction. And then your friend says, oh, I know a shortcut. Go down this way. Alright, you go down the shortcut, you take a couple turns. You're lost as fuck. Your friend realizes they don't actually know where they're going, they can't guide you very well. You're like, look, we need to get back on track, I don't know where we are. But I knew where we were. And so it just goes back. It's like, look, I know the route from here. Whereas if your friend does guide you out, you go, oh yeah, oh, look at that. You keep navigating. So it's the same thing code-wise for the drone. If the drone can't figure out how to get to the objective, it goes back to where it was and tries again. It's a weird one. It's basically a pathfinding bug. Whilst you drove through a portal? I mean, the portal's kind of irrelevant. If you could just physically grab the drone and move it over to where it gets confused, the same thing should theoretically happen. It's about the drone just losing the ability to pathfind, and so it has its fallback. And the fallback just drags it back to where it did have the path. For one reason or another, it's just not creating the path to where it should be going, and so it just goes back to what it knew. Yeah, various teleports can do the same thing. Alright, so seeing as this is having that weird effect, yeah, Flo, let's bring you in now. I need your Necros to have Despoil on it, or just otherwise be good at desecrating. That's all you just need to do, just desecrate. Would there be a way to fix it? The suggestion I gave in the video guide on Plaguestar is the answer, and that is when you teleport the drone, try to aim the drone, aim the portal and therefore the drone towards the ground. If you leave it high in the sky, that increases the likelihood that it's going to lose its way and it all just falls apart. But if the drone is closer to the ground, it's got a much greater chance of actually landing the effect. I can invite Simulacrum. Can I Shezbot whilst in solo mode? So yeah. Just wants range? Just wants range? Yeah, just range. Just range. Alright, probably loaded in because good computer. Okay, so test number... God, what are we even on to at this point? Test X. The way we're going to do this one, Flo, is you're going to immediately have your... you're immediately going to have your Despoil active. I'm not going to have mine on. I will do the killing. Do you have gore enabled or disabled at the moment? Well, you should be set up. Disabled. Okay, cool. I have it enabled. That's also good for the test. Oh, this could probably get very cursed very quickly. I don't even know which answer I want at this point. We've already got a cursed answer. I can't tell if you're ready to go or not. Cursed math? Cursed physics, this is. 1 sec, okay. Getting some range? Sure. Alright. You don't need, like, crazy amounts anyway. Just... I mean, what do I have? Because there's plenty. I think I've only got overextended on here. So, honestly, just enough range to cover the area, and then you'll just be stood up there with no companion like myself. I've got no vacuum, that's the point. Alright then. So, I'm killing these ones, not you. You're just going to be activating your ability. You can stand down here, it's fine. Shouldn't need to nourish, but okay. Not add in any modifiers, please, but... should be fine. Right, let's see. So, I'm going to split them open. Gen energy regen, and this is why I said the augment to spoil, because it removes the energy requirement, turns it into health. But you'll be fine. Well, you won't pick health up because you haven't got a companion, you're not going to stand on it. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh no, 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 no. Flo? Please turn gore on in your settings. I'm going to clean up these. Bear in mind, this only cleans it up from my perspective. Flo can still see them. Gore is now on for Flo. Good, good, good. Once again, we're going to pop the area. There we go. Just wait for all that to get consumed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I had lock count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yep, 23. It's nearly fucking double. Oh, God. Alright, Flo. We're going to do this again. You keep your setting as it is. I'm going to turn gore off now. This is so fucked. Oh, this is so fucked. It's not the end of the world, it's just dumb. Alright then. You got your gore on? Yep, alright. So I'm now going to see them get bodied, but not split into pieces, despite the amazing power of the Latum. And Flo is going to attempt to desecrate them, based on what Flo can see, I presume? Oh dear God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That's 22. Let me check again from this side. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 22. Yeah. Now this raises a concern. This raises a concern about how Warframe is built. The amount of loot we are able to get in a mission is dependent on the settings of the actual player creating the loot. So, if Flo can see bodies being split, Flo is able to generate more loot. If Flo cannot see bodies being split, regardless if the host is splitting them, if Flo can't see them being split, Flo cannot generate the additional loot from them. This hopefully puts to bed forever the question of, can you split the bodies for extra loot? But now raises the question as to, how is the client able to have that much of an effect? I don't know a lot when it comes to multiplayer just handling of games and making sure the client doesn't fuck with stuff it shouldn't. In fact, I know very little about that whole handling multiplayer networks and avoiding cheats and hacks. But this to me seems like a very odd position to be in, that not only does the visual setting actually change the mechanics of the game, but also even just for the client side. How does Gore mod interact with Gore Disabled? Funny you should ask that, Horizon. I've had it equipped the entire time. The entire time. So its interaction is, it don't. You turn off Gore, you turn off Gore. I'm just saying drops the client side, so it's sort of like Gore drops or orbs. No, it's the other way around. The Gore drops, like, when there's more Gore visibly, you generate more orbs. We're not trading Gore for orbs. It's more Gore, more orbs, less Gore, less orbs. Fundamentally, I feel this is bad somehow. I don't know. I'm just getting a gut feeling on this one. I think Shezbot Rodrigo meant POV, not FOV. Gut feeling? Ah, right. Cool. Yeah, we were gutting them, weren't we? Later. Huh. So if you want to use Necros, it's not enough to have Ripcast for Gore chance. You need to see the Gore, revel in the Gore. Minus Gore setting is a physical nerf. But if you're not the Necros, you don't need to see the Gore. Go figure.
I'm here for just a sec to show this off and ask for a light change.
Hello Petra, welcome in just briefly to celebrate 1.5 years of support on the channel. Much appreciated there, Petra. Hope you're doing well. Contra said, so do Switch players get less physics objects and have even lower rate? This is based on the splitting of the enemies, so if the Switch doesn't allow you to split as much, then I don't know how to... how that would shake out, to be honest. But Petra, you said you'd like to ask for a light change. We're already on Urple, so... haven't seen your light change there, sorry. No, I see, Petra. Hopefully things can turn around for you life-wise. Happy I realised that we could have also checked how much health was spent on Desecrate. That would confirm how many body parts. Fair point as well. Shellspot requesting Fairy. What the hell is Fairy on here? That fair enough? Linking between them? Well, I'll wrap up anyway. So, Old Flow, I don't have the best of answer here for you. Or rather, I have answers, and I've now raised questions and concerns, I dare say. If anyone has nefarious ideas, don't. Nefarious ideas. Bad juju, that's the way lies. But at the very least, if you want to get value out of Necros, make sure the Necros has Gore enabled. That's upsetting. Alright, let's dip out of there. I think it's about time we do a Platinum giveaway. If you've not already got in for a chance to win that exclamation mark ticket in the chat, we'll be doing that draw very shortly. There's a 75 pack giveaway going out to any one person on the channel throughout the stream today, as long as you claim a ticket. I forgot, is there any in-game setting in relation to like body cleanup similar to other games? I think the bodies just all disintegrate on their own timer. That timer is different based on how they died, but otherwise they just have a timer and disintegrate. We don't get to control that. So yeah. I'll give you all a moment to grab those tickets there for the Platinum giveaway. Also on that note, if this is one of your first times joining in to a giveaway on this channel, make sure you do use the exclamation mark IGN command, followed by your Warframe username and platform, so I've got a permanent record as to what your in-game account is. So if you do win a giveaway, I know where to send the prize. We've had a couple people recently who should have won prizes, didn't provide me those details, and didn't respond to messages asking for those details afterwards either. I can't help you if you don't claim your prize. Alright, but I think that is enough time for everyone to grab themselves a ticket there, so let's close our entries and have a look today at who is it going to be. Only one of you can be the winner. The winner today is indeed going to be Raptor Mark II. Raptor Mark II not only grabbing themselves a booster, grabbing some platinum. Today is definitely Raptor's day. Would you look at that? Congratulations, everyone. Well, thank you everyone for joining. Not congratulations, everyone. Screw the rest of y'all. Only Raptor gets that one. But congratulations, Raptor, there. And that will be sent on over to you. I believe that should be coming through at the start of October. I'll double check that actually to be certain right now, because that is handed out by DE. Let's have a look here. When is next batch due? Yeah, start of October. So you can look forward to that in your inbox. And those boosters that people won earlier, those will be sent out shortly as well. Shortly after the end of the stream. Yes, you had Gore on and didn't realize it. The default setting is Gore on. Yeah, it is default on. Anyway, that is where we're going to wrap it up there. I do hope you all have enjoyed today. To be honest, as we have run over a little bit there, I'm not going to dig us out a raid, so if you do wish to pop over to another part of the Warframe community, I leave that up to you to enjoy yourselves that way. But otherwise, thank you very much for joining in, and I will see you in the next one tomorrow for the dev stream. Tomorrow. Don't forget, dev stream is not on a Friday this week. See you then. Bye-bye.